He doesn't have a problem with drugs. He just doesn't get them. He's fine that his mates have tattoos, but he thinks they'll regret them. He likes going to pubs, but he hates it when the music's too loud. He tends not to go to rock concerts, cause he can't stand the crowds. But all he's ever wanted to be is a rock star on Rage or MTV. But he knows that it's not fucking likely. He just turned 30. He knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep writing songs the world will never hear, and though they won't be heard, he'll just keep writing. Oh yeah, but you see the problem is he always dreamt of being a star, but he learned piano instead of guitar, which in the 90s didn't get you very far. So while the other kids were learning Stairway, he was the piano to their forte. But he was convinced one day he'd rock their fucking asses, be an icon for the disenfranchised masses, grow his hair long and rebel against the state. But just for now that'd have to wait, cause he's running late for his morning classes, and he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep playing gigs that no one knows about, and though it sounds absurd, he'll just keep playing. Oh yeah, but you see the problem is there's not much depth in what he's singing. He's a victim of his upper middle class upbringing, so he can't write about the hood or bling bling. So he sits and imagines his girlfriend is dead, to try and evoke some angst in his middle class head. But the bitch is always fine at 9:30 when they go to bed. And he's not spent a single night in prison. He has no issues with nutrition. He has no drinking problem and no drug addiction, unless you count the drugs they put in chicken. And marijuana always tends to make him cough. He doesn't look good with his t-shirt off, and when he tries to act tough, you can tell he's tricking. Go out late, popping pills and having fun. He goes home and showers and gets a good 8 hours. He gets his thrills from his morning run, and while his mates all go on dates, taking speed and drinking cans of Jim Beam, he stays home and cooks, curls up with the book with the girl he's had since he was 17. Cause he's never really been part of the scene. Give him Guns N' Roses, he'll take Queen. He's more into Beatles than the Stones. He's more Stevie Wonder than Ramones. And he's never owned a panel van. He never shot a Pantera fan. He doesn't know the difference between metal and thrash. He couldn't tell you nothing about Axl and Slash. He likes Ben Folds and the Jackson 5. He knows all the words to Stayin' Alive. And though he wants to be all crunchy and cool, he spent 11 years at a private school. So it don't matter how he tries, he cannot hide behind his rock and roll lies. Cause you've either got it or you don't. You'll either rock it or you won't. You've either got it or you don't. Rock it or you won't. You've either got it or you don't. He knows that his music lacks depth, but it just can't be helped. He has nothing interesting to say, so he writes about himself. But he doesn't want to seem self-obsessed, so he writes in third person. In an attempt to seem more rock and roll, but he suspects it's not working. And deep in his heart he knows that he'll never be Silverchair or Eskimo Joe. And even if he was quite pretty with small pants like Kylie, he knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Some good old Tim Minchin to kick us off. You gotta have it. You gotta have it. No other way to live, no other way to be. How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling good? Feeling alive on this, whatever day it is? Wednesday, I think. My life is a blur. Let me go here. I have to add the chat box in, because YouTube chat doesn't really work properly. Might still not be working properly. There we go. That works. Oh, that doesn't work. Slowly but surely, Luke manages to sort of screw it up. There we go. I think that works. Anyway, hi. Hi, everybody. How we doing? How we doing? Good evening from the UK. I'm jelly. I want to be in the UK. Good evening, fine. So the top hat really sells it. I heard Matilda was great. I like Matilda, the musical. I'll be real. And it's Tim Minchin, so what is there not to love? What is there not to love about it, you know? Oh, yeah, I got a shearing. I sure did. I got a shearing like 2 hours ago, so I haven't even had the chance to like shower or put stuff in it, so I came right down. And an eyebrow waxing, because Lukey gets a little bit of a unibrow if he doesn't tame the beast.
Alfatron super chatted $4.99.
Awesome.
I seen Dreamcast guy crying about the delay, but he would also complain if Starfield comes out broken. I don't get it. Dreamcast guy, I don't like being like slinging mud. I try not to engage in that stuff. But sometimes he makes it really hard not to just say some things. All I've said, the worst I've ever said about him on a quotation would be that he's never impressed me. He's never impressed me. And I think that sort of tells you what you need. Why? Jesus. A Lolcow? Is he on that level, really? I don't know. I think it seems like he has actual fans, like people that really follow him around. But I guess so does King Cobra, so maybe that's not saying much. Maybe that's not saying much. When I get a unibrow, I call it the Italian curse. Yeah, for me, it's unibrow a little bit, and then they also start to like go up like some sort of weird satanic medieval crown, and it just needs a little taming. It needs a little taming. I'll be real. The one thing I did get also, I've had this done for the last like 6 months, nostril wax. Okay, it sounds insane. You have to have somebody that knows what they're doing, okay? You're not supposed to put it all the way in your nose. It's like only the 1/4 inch from the opening of your nostril up, like a 1/4 inch. But they put the wax in on like a little popsicle stick. They close your nostril down, let it harden, and then they give it a good old yank. And it doesn't feel good, but it's weird. You'll be able to breathe easier. I snore less. I don't know why. And I guess I just have a hairy nostrils, you know? A lot of Ziggy, a lot of barbers will do it if you ask them. Like, do you do nostril waxing? A lot of them will. They just don't get asked a whole lot. For some reason, like, especially in America, like, taming your facial hair as a guy is seen as, like, frilly or metrosexual or something. Maybe it is, but it makes you look far better. It can have, like, quality of life improvements as well. And let's just be clear. Nobody wants to be that guy that has the nose hair that blends into the mustache. Don't be that guy, okay? We've all been there. I've had moments where, you know what? Where does it start? Where does it end? Who knows? Who can say? But you gotta avoid being that guy. They have electric nose hair trimmers, you know. They aren't expensive. They are not expensive, but they and they do sort of work. My issue with those is that they tend to get things really itchy, at least in my experience. Like, they'll trim the hairs, but a day or two later, your nose is, like, super, super itchy. It's bad. I have to thread since my eyebrows are, like, the dad from American Pie. You know, as long as you're aware and you can work on it. Hold on, I want to go back to that other song. The Woven Storm. Priscilla's song. Oh, it's so good. That's my Spanish heritage. You're denigrating. I'm sorry. I guess I'm problematic. Luke Stevens canceled because he said that you shouldn't have nose hairs that blend with your mustache. Oh, goodness. Goodness. You know, you just got to tame the beast. It's okay to have a beast. You got to tame the beast, okay? That's the key. Let's see. Yeah, what a baller way to start the stream, right? Only positive thing I can say about Dreamcast guy is that he pushes for physical games in his or physical games hard in his videos. That's good. I mean, with a name like Dreamcast, I assume he's a collector, so I would assume that he's into that. My big thing is, like, for one, that, like, I enjoy a good Lolcow, okay? Don't get me wrong. You guys know I love King Cobra. King Cobra JFS is, like, one of my guilty pleasures, is watching his stuff. And if you don't know who that is, he's a guy from Wyoming, and he's just absolutely outrageous. He thinks he's like an actual wizard. He thinks he can, like, cast magic spells with wands that he makes. He's also a raging, like, alcoholic. Just across the board. He's a very weird guy, but he's really, really entertaining. So I like lolcows that are really, really entertaining. My problem with some lolcows, like a DSP, kind of fit into this for me, where I felt like DSP wasn't actually that funny anymore. It started to get really sad and pathetic. Same with, like, Wings of Redemption. Like, it was funny for a little while, and now it's like it's not that funny anymore. You know, and that's kind of how I feel like with Dreamcast, where I'm like, I don't know where the entertainment value is. But, like, with King Cobra, hold on, let me share with you a little something. By the way, thank you, Phil, for re-upping your membership. And again, 04, thank you for the $4.99. And Walnut for becoming a member before the stream started. Much love. Just check this out, okay? This is a vocal cover of his. This is King Cobra, the one and only. I want to hear him sing, okay? Then we'll get into Starfield, I promise. Let me get to a point where he's singing. This looks like it. Sing for us. Sing for me. You got more in you than that. There.
But I want to sing Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. Nothing else matters.
Bear in mind, he thinks he's the basic reincarnation of Ozzy Osbourne, even though Ozzy isn't dead yet. He thinks he can, like, match tune and tone perfectly.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. He's even on our soundboard. I think it's this one.
That's most definitely what's up.
Yeah, sure is. So, like, with him, there's entertainment value. There's something to get there. I find it really funny. There's a ton of stuff. It's thoroughly entertaining. But with some other lolcows, like, same with Chris Chan. Chris Chan, by the end of it, just started to get really, like, really sad and really pathetic, and it just stopped being funny. It was like, okay, this is a person who is, like, not well. And then we all know what Chris Chan did with Mama Chan. So that was something we could all kind of foresee. We saw something bad coming. You find the most random shit. Dude, once you fall into the trap of lolcows, it's I mean, it all just kind of blends together. Because there's a weird, like, culture and fan group among each other. Like, fans of Chris Chan know King Cobra, know Cyrax, know Low Tier God, like all these lolcows kind of blend together. And so once you get into one of them, you're probably going to get into a lot of them. But there's some, like, the thing with King Cobra is that he's so freaking boring, and yet he's so entertaining. And I think it's mainly because of the community around him that clips all of his stuff. But, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I think being put in the like category of King Cobra and Chris Chan is like a big ask, and that's a big accomplishment. And I don't think that Dreamcast is anywhere near that. Like, yeah, he's got some derpy takes and stuff, but who doesn't? I don't know if he's quite on that level yet. Maybe eventually. Yeah, PS5 update 7.0. I think they fixed one of my issues I had with Death Stranding in that firmware update, which is awesome. Because I bought Death Stranding on the like physical disc. I installed it, played it on my PS4 Pro back in the day, and then I got the PS5. And with the PS5, I have a discless PS5 upstairs. Or no, this one's discless. So this PS5 can't use the game disc to register or see that it's a real copy. So I tried downloading through PlayStation Plus the included free version of the game to play it, but you can't do that because every time I try to launch the game, it asks me for the disc. And apparently with this firmware, it fixes it. Because basically I bought the game, and even with the included game in PlayStation Plus, I can't play Death Stranding on this PS5, which is just dumb. But I think they fixed it. So stuff like that is pretty cool. I'm glad that they did that. Hogwarts got an update. Yes, apparently the update fixes a bunch of performance issues. They have not fixed one of the bugs with the collectors, like trophies. There was something about that I saw, but... And it has, yeah, Discord integration now, natively, which is awesome. Can we admit this year delay isn't for just polish? My bet is 4 out of 10 launch riddled with issues. Well, let's just get into it. Let's talk about it, okay? Let's just talk about it. So, here we go. Jacob's probably in here to clip this right away. So we'll just roll right into this. For those of you who have not heard yet somehow that Starfield has gotten an update, it's gotten some news, here we are. We've arrived. They sort of shadow dropped this. This is an announcement for release date and the reveal announcement. So they're announcing the announcement. It's a whole thing. But let's see what this looks like, okay? They dropped a new trailer. I personally have not seen this. I've not seen this yet, but we're going to check it out. Thank you for the $1.99, Wyatt. Did you see AMD might be showing FSR 3.0 tomorrow? I did not see that, but I'm intrigued. More competition to DLSS is always welcome. So I'm down for that. Also, big shout out to all the people that donated off stream as well, because there's been a handful of people. I don't know what you guys are so generous, but there's been a handful of people who have gone in and been donating even when we're not streaming. So like they don't get the shout outs or anything. They're just donating to our PayPal link to be nice. What's wrong with you guys? Like, but I'll give you a shout out now anyways, so you can suck it. Big shout out, I think, first and foremost to Sean, because Sean, who helped us get this Lego Titanic, which, by the way, Sean, if you're seeing this, I told Sean he donated so much for the Lego fund for us to build something on stream that I told him we'll kind of like, I'll add a little minifigure of you as the captain of the ship. And so you'll actually be on the ship. And so look at this. I didn't lie. See it right here? No sleight of hand. A little tiny minifigure. You can barely see it. Barely see him. But this is one of their mini figs for their scale projects right here. So I told him I'd put him, a character of Sean, on the ship so that he stays there. Which is, yeah, I think it's a good touch. Sean is the captain. So I don't ever think that I take this stuff for granted. I do really appreciate it. All these donations are humbling, truly. So thank you everybody for all of that stuff. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, let's just jump right into this. Let's go for it. Starfield release date announcement trailer. Buckle up, buckaroo. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm not ready. Is this a widescreen trailer? Not really. I'll crop it for you. And this is also 4K. Before we go into this, let me pull this down just a little. Crop that. Okay. Let's do it. Ready? Here we go.
This is Constellation Star Station LO868. Welcome aboard. The eye is showing signs over another one of those big anomalies. Maybe you catch a smile and uncover the source of it all.
September 6th.
Hey everyone, from myself and everybody here
It's Todd! Hold on, I'll get our Todd out. Okay, while he does this thing, I'll get our Todd out.
at Bethesda, we are so excited to finally tell you when Starfield is coming out this year. You know, we have poured ourselves into this game, and even I'm surprised how much we can pour. It is large. We're playing the game
Yeah, it
all
is,
the time.
Todd.
Shout out over here to lead producer Tim Lamb. Old school fans, you may remember him from the Oblivion making of video where he's sitting on a similar sofa doing similar
no way!
things.
I know that exact video. I just rewatched recently. That's hilarious that he's still there doing this.
But also, this June, we're going to bring you into the studio and give you a deep dive in the game at our Starfield Direct. There's so much that we...
June 11th. Here's the thing. I would love to do that live, but I'm going to be real. Our second baby is due on the 10th. And Lachlan came exactly on his birthday, or his due date. So, of course he came on his birthday. He came on his due date. So I just want to be real. Might not be able to live stream this because we may either currently be having a baby or we may have just had a baby like a day before. If we have the baby like, you know, a few days early or a week early, then we can probably stream it, but I won't make any promises. But either way, I can film like a reaction from the hospital room and offer my thoughts on it. So we'll still... I was born on my birthday too, yeah. Live stream from the maternity ward. Nikki would love that, I'm sure.
still have to show you. The game has many of the hallmarks that you'd expect from us, but it's also a very unique experience. And again, thank you all for all of your excitement about the game, your support, your comments. We really do read it all. And look, we know you've waited a long time to play something new from us. Yeah, believe it or not, we're kind of the same. We miss it, and we really just can't wait for you all to play it. So thanks, and we'll see you soon.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Little
So
boss
thanks,
fight.
and
What is this? Oop.
really just can't wait for you all to
Stefan
play it.
Constantine Doomy Trash super chatted $5.41.
Thank you.
Hi Luke. I hope this
Hi.
covers your expenses for investigating and commenting on the story of Masabumi Hosono smiley face.
Masabumi Hosono? What is that? Masabumi Hosono. Is this the trick to get me to Google it? Oh, wait. I do remember this. Yes, he's one of the like survivors from the Titanic, but it's like a whole thing. Interesting. I'm gonna keep that tab open. Thank you for the 25. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'll investigate that. I mean, what I was gonna test, I freaking love his watch so much. I know it's irrational, but I just do.
We miss it.
What I wanted to see, I think this version, yeah. They're playing a 30 FPS version of the game. It's occasionally even less than 30. Because this is a 60 FPS clip, and yet we can clip forward two frames. Now, it could be that this section of video is only filmed in 60. I think this is how we get tested, though. To see if their heads move with the camera each frame. One. No, I think what it might be, they might be going to 30 frames for these cutaways. I don't know. Either way, it's kind of stupid. I don't know. The question with all of this is definitely whether or not performance will live up to the expectations. Does he still wear the visor and everything? He does. He's wearing the visor, and in that old clip, he was wearing a visor while working indoors. What a Chad. I don't know. My guess, I'd put money. Maybe I'm a Debbie Downer. I'd put money on this still launching pretty broken. I'm going to be real. I would guess. In my opinion, Bethesda has like never, as far as I can tell, released a polished product. And like never. Like ever. Definitely not the last like 15 years. So what on earth makes you think this time will be different? While implementing brand new like tech to have 1,000 planets, like come on. Never. Recap is pretty straightforward. It's coming September 6th. This is all they really dropped was September 6th of 2023. And make of that what you will. But people are like, oh, it's basically been delayed a year because it was supposed to come out last year. So they're basically delaying it a full year just for polish. And listen, I had heard from somebody within Xbox's hierarchy that they were going to be pushing this back a little. Or that they were rather, I got it backwards, that they were going to hit their target by the end of 2022 because the game was in heavy polish mode, which apparently is what a lot of Xbox people were under the impression was going on. But people within Bethesda were like, no, we're not in polish. We're in like finish this thing. We're not even there yet. So the fact that they weren't, allegedly, they weren't in the polish phase, even at the end of last year, makes me think that it's probably not going to be super polished. I think they're trying, but Bethesda literally has never released a polished product. And after Fallout 4, everybody's like, okay, well, this next time they're going to learn. Then Fallout 76 came. And then everybody's like, after Fallout 76, this time they'll learn. I'm just like, we've been saying this for 20 years. Come on. I just don't think so. To be fair, let me be completely fair with this, okay? I don't want you to think I'm being like ridiculous. There can be bugs in a game and it can still be good. It can still be worth playing. It can even still be a great game on launch day with some bugs. There's no doubt about it. You can have a phenomenal game with plenty of bugs and glitches and things. However, the standard for quality goes up to counterbalance that. In the same way that like our good old MS Paint example goes. If we are evaluating this stuff on like this basic scale of, let's just do brush, thick, nice and thick, boy. Nice. There's a good girl. Okay. And we're doing like this.
Boop. This is the midpoint. Let's say this is the point when you're a hater, and then this is the point when you're sold and you're a fanboy. You should be hoping to start like here in the dead center, fairly evaluating the game. And the thing is, with bugs, that should pull you this way. But if the game's amazing, you could get pulled all the way back over here because the game is so freaking good, you just don't care, right? And that's what I'm hoping to see. My experience, like Fallout 76, it wouldn't be this small of the line. Fallout 76 would be like all the way down here past the barrier. And then they came out with like some, like, oh, well, they have some, they've got some good stuff with maybe, I'm trying to think of a good thing Fallout 76 has. They have like a good community and great weapon crafting and base building. Okay, well, that might pull us up to like here. But then you look at, oh, and they basically, like, they knew this was broken. They sold a broken product to their fans and kind of scammed them out of all this money. You look at the canvas bag thing, the rum debacle, all of these things that they did. Fallout first, and that pulls it back down here where it's really, really hard to come to any conclusion other than this is a terrible, terrible thing. Okay? My hope with Fallout 76 is that tech issues bring it to, like, here. And then the rest of it brings it back up a little more positively. That's my hope. Fingers crossed. We'll see.
Stefan Constantin Doomy Trash super chatted
Thank you, Stefan.
$5.41. Game will be bad technically, but highly versatile in development and such. People will lament visuals and bugs, but praise the gameplay versatility. That's
kind of my impression too, Stefan. I think so. Also, thank you, Salvador, for your £2. Pull baby names. Star Child should be in the running. I'll tell Nikki. Like, I know you had a baby name in mind, but we did a poll. Big Chungus won. I don't know what you want from me. It's what chat shows. So I don't know. I think you're right, probably, Stefan, that people will praise the core mechanics, the design, as it were. The design, Todd. We'll praise the design. Should I just... Hold on. Should I do this? We got to give Todd his own spotlight. There we go. Love it, Todd. So I think you're right. They probably praise the design, the ideas behind it, the broad strokes things. But when it comes to the implementation and the actual quality of life playing the game, it'll probably be a bit of a mixed bag, I would assume, based on what they've said before. Or what they've done before. Because Fallout 4, like, I can look at Fallout 4 and I can say there's a bunch here that's, like, really good, right? There's a lot with Fallout 4 that's actually well done. There's a great, like, gun crafting system, base building. The game is massive. The combat is a huge step up from previous Bethesda games. The world building's great. There's all sorts of really, really good things that Fallout 4 does. But the quality of the experience, because of bugs at launch, failed expectations, people were thinking it was going to be more of an RPG than it actually was. All of these other things kind of hampered the experience. But now you play Fallout 4 and I think you can have a really, really good time. But the big question is just all of this. And in terms of hype, this is something I've also mentioned before. In terms of hype, I try to steer clear of hype as much as I can, full stop across the board, just because I think in general it's a bad thing. I think more often than not, it probably hurts a player more than it helps the player. Because, like, look at Hogwarts Legacy. People gave me crap for trying to piss on the parade, which I wasn't trying to do. But I was trying to be like, okay, guys, before we get, like, stupid, crazy hyped to the point where we, like, can't sleep. We're waiting for this game so bad, and we're so excited. Before we get there, let's keep a level head. And if it's awesome, we'll be very surprised and pleased. And if the game sucks ass, then we'll be like, yeah, well, I didn't get too hyped, right? Like, either way, it's a win-win if you're skeptical, right? If you keep the level head and the expectations in check, you'll be thrilled
TDK super
Or
chatted
not.
$99.99.
Oh, Jesus,
Give Todd a
TDK.
kiss.
Oh, Todd a kiss. Well, I won't give him the type of kiss I normally do in the nighttime, but I'll just... Mwah. He's scruffy today. He's scruffy. He hasn't shaved since I got him. Can you believe that? What a punk. Thank you for the 99, dude. That's very generous. Thank you, TDK. That's extremely generous. Thank you. Can you imagine? It's like, dude, I've mentioned this before. Back when I got Todd, okay, we were like a kind of small channel. I'm peaking the audio. I'm sorry. We were like a small stream. When I streamed, we had like 5 people in here, so I didn't stream very often. But when I was doing videos, like the videos would peak at like 10,000 views when I got him, and like we were having a good time. But if I posted a video on Starfield or something, the odds were pretty low that somebody like Todd would see it, right? Nowadays, the team will see it. Without a doubt, like the team will see it. It's what I realized, like I did that 15-second rule thing on Hogwarts Legacy. I got an email from the head guy in charge of the world design at Warner Brothers Avalanche. And he's like, yeah, I can't go into detail as to exactly how we designed the world, but all I will say is that you got very, very close. So like, and what he said in his email was that they had received it. He had gotten the link for the video. This is like 4 hours after I published it. He had gotten the link for the video from like multiple members of the team. So it's no longer like just meme for the sake of memeing, because these people will see it. And like we can joke. It's why I try not to be like a major dick when it comes to game design choices and things. Like I can think something is objectively extremely dumb. That thing with Wolong Fallen Dynasty where they routed the parry button to the dodge button. So if you parry quickly on certain attacks, because the bosses, some of them have very quick attacks, you'll just dodge because double tapping the circle button dodges, and it's also the parry button. So if you're parrying quickly, you'll just randomly dodge and take hits. It's like, without a doubt, that is a freaking dumb decision. And so like, I'm okay with calling that dumb. But with some of these other videos I've done where we might tear into a game a little bit more, you just have to be careful because these are real people working on these games. So like I could say, hey, in this game, this skin looks like ass. Whoever designed this skin is a moron. I could do the memeing thing where I'm just like, some troglodytic buffoon designed this. The odds are not that crazy that that person will probably see the video, especially if it does decent. Like if it does, 200,000-300,000, we'll probably see it. Cause like the niche of people watching dedicated videos on some of these games, it's a niche, and if you're one of those people, they'll probably see it. So I don't know. Good, let them. Well, with the Bethesda stuff back in the day, like I straight up said, I don't know an explanation for what Bethesda's done with Fallout 76 that doesn't include them being sort of evil. And I stand by that. Like, there's no way I can explain all of the events of Fallout 76 without Todd and his cronies being complicit in screwing their customers. And that's a problem for me. I'm not just going to forgive that. When I had like a faux debate with Mr. Matty Plays on this about Starfield hype, I basically, the disagreement, for those of you who didn't see it, the disagreement was just, I'm not willing to give Bethesda the benefit of the doubt when it comes to hype over their games. And he is. He's willing to go, it'll probably be pretty good. And I'm just not. Because the past behavior has indicated that there's a problem there and it's not reliable. And it's not something that you should like trust them about. And so when I'm like, hey, I think the gunplay looks really, really iffy. There's barely any gore. There's like blood spatter, but there's no gore, which coming from the team that did Fallout 3 and 4, which is known for gore and dismemberment. That's really weird. The Thousand Planet thing gets me really, really worried about quantity over quality. Polish is a major concern with a brand new system for this dynamic tech. There's all these concerns, and I'm just like, and on top of this, the last game they made was borderline criminal, which is why they got sued by so many people over it. So I'm not willing to hype it up. I'm going to keep it on the DL. I'm not going to hype it up. But I talked to some of these other Bethesda fans and fanboys, and they're just like, but I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. And I'm just not. And it's a difference of opinion. I mean, if you're willing to do that, and if you think they've maybe redeemed themselves since then, okay. I'm not convinced they've redeemed themselves for Fallout 76, but maybe you do. Or maybe you didn't think Fallout 76 was that big of a deal. But I do. And that's the difference, right? So, but going back to the Starfield thing, I think Starfield could be buggy, it could be iffy and have problems, and it could still be a great game. Don't get that twisted. Hogwarts Legacy, I think, is a good game. Probably not great, but as like a Harry Potter game, it's great, if that makes sense. Like, it's a good game, good adventure game, but it's a great Harry Potter Hogwarts franchise game, right? And that game has a lot of bugs and glitches, and it has, especially at launch, performance issues, weird load times between doors and stuff. And so there's issues all over the place with that, but I think in general, the pros outweigh the cons. What's the Metacritic prediction? Mine's 85. I guess that's a good question. Everybody put your Metacritic prediction for Starfield in the chat. I want to know where we're at. I guess I could also do a poll. I could probably do that too. How do I do a poll? I have to remember. Start a poll. Okay. Metacritic prediction. Let's do 95 plus. Let's do 90 to 94. I'm going to do 80 to 89. And then 70 to 79. And that's the most options I can put in. Okay. The poll is up. Let's see what you guys say. It should just be a poll you can vote for in chat. Let's see it. Let me know. 95. This message is sponsored by Todd. I want it to be great. Like, this is the thing that I think gets lost sometimes. I want the game to be awesome. I would love for there to be a new game for me to be obsessed about. Everybody does. Like, I don't enjoy being the one that has to point out, yeah, there's problems, and this thing sucks, and this piece sucks, and this thing sucks. I want to be in here and just hype it up and be like, oh my God, gaming's at the best point ever. It's not fun to be the one that has to be like, guys, let's keep it in check. I think there's probably problems. Like, I want to get hyped up too. Come on. 76 is the only correct answer. You know it, Luke. You're right, Wyatt. You're right. You got me. Major Bethesda IPs will score high, perhaps with the exception of outliers like Fallout 76. Yeah, and I think this is, again, the thing you have to remember with these types of issues is that review sites assign to reviews those who are familiar with this type of content. So the reviewer that reviewed Elden Ring for IGN or GameSpot or wherever, they had played previous FromSoft games, and they were probably fans of other FromSoft games, right? And so when you're watching their review, you have to remember this is a review, a 10 out of 10 review from somebody who enjoys these types of games, who likes this studio. So, it's not always a cross-platform thing. So, of course, like, Bethesda fans are more likely than the general public to be fans of Bethesda's stuff, right? Like, so that's part of the reason I think people look at some of these review sites and they see the scores are generally pretty good for games that are sequels or from a studio that's established. And I think that's mostly why, because it's another game from somebody that they already know, that they like. Salvador, thank you for the £2. Like the stream, y'all. Yes, everybody, like the stream. Otherwise, my mods will beat me. They will beat me. Metacritic prediction, 44% of you said 80 to 89, so a B, somewhere in the B category. 29% of you said somewhere between 70 and 79. 22% said between 90 and 94, and only 3% said above a 95. Above 95 would be a major accomplishment for a game like Bethesda's. What's the Metacritic? Was Skyrim even that high? Skyrim. No. Well, I guess no. I'm pulling up the Switch version. The Switch version's in 84. Yeah, even Skyrim didn't pull that off. Which is saying something. I mean, Armchair Empire. No idea who they are. I mean, even Skyrim, I think their magnum opus didn't achieve that. Fallout 4 was much more spread, I think. PS4 is their best platform, which is surprising. I would have thought that like PC would be the best platform for Fallout 4, but apparently PS4 is their best platform for Fallout 4 in terms of score, and it got an 87 there. And then Fallout 3, PC got a 91. It's also on the 360 at 93, the PlayStation 3 at 90, and of course Fallout 76. We all kind of know how that ended. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's this high. Xbox One, it's a 49. That's funny. Impulse Gamer gave it a 92. What? Okay, hold on. We have to see this. A 92? Okay, this was written December 1st. When did Fallout 76 launch? Fallout 76. It launched October. So they spent a month and a half, roughly, playing this, and they gave it a 4.6 out of 5. A 92. Okay, we have to read this. I'm sorry. I know we were going to cover Starfield stuff, but we gotta dig into this. I'm so intrigued. Okay, before we do this though, what are the predictions for what the standard is? My guess would be that they're going to say that Fallout 76 is great because it offers the chance to explore the wastes with friends, which is something they've probably wanted to do for a very long time. And they will probably praise the base building a lot. I think they'll like the base building. And they will probably say that tech issues were overstated. Those are my predictions. Okay. Fallout fans are biased. I mean, they're biased. And let me be clear. I have met somebody, only one person that I can think of, who said that they actually really like Fallout 76. But even they said that they could only get into it in like late 20... It was pre-COVID, so 2019. It's like late 2019. And then they got into it. And they were like, yeah, it was too buggy before. I tried it once before and I couldn't get into it. So even they, like the one person I know, the anecdote there is like, yeah, I couldn't get into it because it was so broken. But this guy is saying at launch time, it was really good. And what's even more crazy, he posted this on December 1st. So this is, about a month and a week, like 5 weeks, 6 weeks after the launch. And so he's seen all of the other very negative reviews, right? Like that's not lost on him. He's seen all the other stuff and he's still giving it this score. It's ballsy. I'll give it to him. It's ballsy. So let's see, I guess.
Let me go here, actually. Fallout 76 PC review. Where do I start? I guess I can start by saying it's been a hard job pulling myself away from the game to write this review. But before I get into the review, I do want to address some issues I've seen with other people level at the game to get them out of the way. Fallout 76 is set before the other Fallout games and essentially focuses on the first Vault Dweller's exit after the war. I mention this because some of the criticism of the game some of the criticism the game is copying is related to there not being any human NPC characters. I don't think this is the right usage of there. Is to their... Because this is possessive... Anyway, moving on. Not being any human NPC characters, or more correctly, there are no living NPC characters, as you do find plenty of evidence of other humans via recordings. I don't have any issue with this, as it fits the narrative. You learn more about other people who have been there before and learn what happened to them. Most of them have arguably succumbed to the condition that features in the storyline. Let me be clear about this. This is something I've heard people counter with, like, Kojima games. Death Stranding was one that had issues that were explained in the narrative. And a lot of games do this, but just because it's explained in the narrative doesn't excuse it as a game design choice, okay? Because they chose to explain it away in the narrative because they had already decided not to have that thing. If they wanted to have that thing, they would have come up with an explanation in the narrative as to why those people would be there. And this even doesn't really stand true because since this game launched in the years since, they've added humans and NPCs to the world and the game anyways. So it's not a narrative preclusion. It was something they could have added, they chose not to. And that was the problem with people that people had, was that they could have had human NPCs to talk to and negotiate with and stuff, and they chose not to. And we know that they chose not to because the game was barely holding together as is. They couldn't really swing it. But this is something I've seen, like, you'll start to see this from people that are, for lack of a better term, like, well, I won't say that. They are just trying to come up with explanations for why they love this thing they love. And it's commonly a trait with, like, fanboys and girls, people who really like something. And maybe it's not the most rational explanation for why they like it. Maybe it doesn't really make sense why they like it, but they just like it. And so they're going to say that, well, disliking is not rational because it's actually justified in the narrative as to why it's liked. So, and this type of thing just doesn't do it for me, because it's clearly just trying to come up with an excuse for something that is a weird decision. It sucks that there aren't human NPCs in the game. Full stop. That's it. It's okay to admit that. If you still like the game and you admit that, I'll believe you more. But pretending like it's not an issue is kind of disingenuous. Another issue people have had is with the number of people on the server. Currently, I believe it's 16 to a server. I read one person thinking it should be closer to 50 or so. There are a number of reasons why I think 16 is fine. One is that this is a Fallout title. It's not meant to be heavily populated. And another reason is that in the time I've been playing, I've come across a number of other players. And though there is the odd stop to acknowledge the other human in scene, typically when we then go on our own way again. I'm not really sure what you do with 49 or so other players that can't be done with 15. This one, yeah, I'm fine with there being fewer players. It begs the question, why is it a multiplayer game if there aren't a ton of, like, why is it an MMO basically if there's so few players on a server? But whatever. I would agree. I don't think this is a deal breaker. What I will say already at the start, the structure of this review is really, really weird. Because normally what you do when you're arguing in a more classical manner is like this. Hold on. Can I find... Nope, that's not what I wanted. Crap. Where did it go? Crap. Okay, classical... Images...
Why can't I ever find just like the one thing that I'm looking for? Oh, well, this is basically it here. So the classical form of argumentation, normally what you do is an introduction, statement of background, proposition, proof, then refutation, and then the conclusion to wrap it up. That's how most like articles and reviews and things are structured, even if somebody's never heard of the classical arrangement of argumentation. But it's set this way for a reason, because you come in, you urge your audience to consider your case, because it's like, hey, I know Fallout 76 has gotten a bad rap, but I'm going to argue why it should be given a chance, because the game's actually really good. And even though it's easy to hate for various reasons, I think the game is good. So there, your introduction. Statement of background, provide key facts and background. So you can go through things like patches they've made since the recent release that make it more playable and enjoyable. You could say something like, the people who heavily criticize this game, in my opinion, didn't play it in the right way or didn't enjoy it for these various reasons, and I'm going to explain how you can enjoy it in a different way. You could explain that way. Proposition, defines or partitions, argument categories, part focuses on information versus reasoning, state the position you are taking, and explain it in detail. So I like Fallout 76. You should play Fallout 76. It's a great game to play with friends, and I believe it's gotten a bad rap. You know, go into a lot of detail with your case and why. And then proof, confirmatio, you make your case using evidence. This is how I structure like critiques and stuff, where I say, hey, I think that the additional mounts in Hogwarts Legacy are a waste of time. Like, they spend all this time offering them to you. You use them once, and then you realize that your broom is probably faster anyway, so it's not practical to use these big mounts other than to just look cool for a few minutes. And then I go into the confirmatio, and I'm able to show, hey, look, in the data mine files, you can see that the mounts travel slower than the base version of the broom. So the mounts are actually useless compared to the broom. So you can go into all of these things and explain it in more detail. And then you get to the refutatio, which is anticipate and refute key oppositions. That's what this guy's doing here. You see, like, he immediately starts trying to refute the sort of, I guess, potential refutation that there are no humans in the game, which makes it worse. And then trying to refute the fact that there's low player counts in servers. So, like, he's flipped this upside down and is starting from his conclusion that Fallout 76 is really good. And then he's working backwards, refuting. And we'll see if he ever gets to like proof propositions, like if he ever does any of that, because already this whole thing is mixed up. But this is why, like, when you write your arguments out and you structure your arguments like this, you're starting on the back foot. Like, you're starting explaining why all of these attacks coming in at you are not valid, instead of stating your case and arguing it. So it just doesn't achieve anything, you know? Beyond that, it's a Bethesda title, so there are also bugs. If you're still playing Bethesda games and expecting them to be totally bug-free, then you haven't been following along. This doesn't make it okay, though. Like, I agree, Bethesda games have always been really, really buggy, but this doesn't make it okay, to be clear. Okay, like, this does not excuse it. I accept these as part of the fact that we are given a massive world to play in. I've come across some bugs, but they aren't so game destroying that I want to throw a tantrum. I may have lost everything in my stash box, but I can reclaim those things through exploring more, and I tend to overhoard anyways. Oh no. This is like an abusive relationship. You're like, no, he only hits me because he loves me. Like, no, it's not okay. It's just bad. Like, I don't get why people can't just admit and acknowledge that there are potentially problems with this thing that they like. Like, it's okay to like Fallout 76. It's okay. But when you go in here and you're like, it's not that big of a deal to have my entire stash lost. Because you know what? I probably overhard anyway. It really was my fault because I overcollect anyways. And I got to go out and collect more stuff, which I was going to do anyway. So it's actually like really, really good. And it's not that big of a deal. Like, It's just dumb. Like, it boggles my mind when people like type this stuff out. It's like, no, you're just excusing away and it, like hand waving away problems. Like, it's okay if you like Fallout 76 and you say, but it really freaking sucked to have my entire stash box deleted. That sucked. It's okay. We'll manage. Spec Ops, good to see you, my friend. Busy day, just hopping on. Oh, it's probably gonna read it. I guess I can just wait for it to read it. I get overexcited. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it will.
Spec
There he
underscore
goes.
Ops Lab super chatted $10. Busy day. Just jumping on to support and hit that like button.
Hex, yeah. Thank you, my friend, and thank you for the 10. And yes, everybody like the stream. It helps. Server issues, for me at least, have been minimal, and most importantly, when I have been kicked from a server, I can rejoin within moments. The wait time is absolutely minimal. Okay. I mean, so there are server issues. There really shouldn't be server issues, but there's server issues, and it's not that big of a deal. Wait times are low. Okay, it's still a problem. With that caveat out of the way, what do I think? I love it. When I first learned that a Fallout game was going to be released as an online experience, I was concerned. I'm not a big online gamer. Okay, interesting. He wasn't like sold on this going in. Interesting. I like to do my own thing, but then I remembered my time playing ESO and the fact that you can more or less do your own thing and either interact with others or ignore them. Fortunately, the same applies here. Thank you, Peak Resolve. Appreciate you. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Though I'm not generally an online gamer, multiplayer gamer, I did find myself plugging my microphone in so I could talk to other players. When other players are in your area, you can hear them, which is kind of cool, hearing a bit of human chatter as you explore a broken down house or a deserted base. The game is essentially a single player game that you can play with other people. Okay. Hence, in other words, a multiplayer game. It's a single player game, but you play with other people. So a multiplayer game? Okay. If you want to quest on all on your own, you absolutely can. If you want to tackle the wasteland with a bunch of friends, you can do that too. There are special events and quests that are set for multiple players, but the main game itself is perfectly playable solo, which is perfect for me. Okay. The game starts with you making your way out of vault, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I found base building to be a nice relief from the strains of the wasteland, and I'm inclined to set up my base on a hill with a nice view. Okay, likes the crafting. Perks work a little bit differently within Fallout 76. You have the primary stuff. Okay, he's just explaining how the game works. For me, Fallout 76 is another success for Bethesda. I understand some people have issues with it, a number of them mentioned above, but I find myself getting totally absorbed. It's the little moments that really make it special. The times when you're wandering to a destination and you come across something that's too small to deserve mention on the map, but tells its own story. Crash planes show up scattered around the landscape. Okay, so there's crash plane. Oh, okay. Final thoughts. The detail that Bethesda put into this world is nothing short of impressive. You can get hung up on what the game isn't, but there is so much that it is. This is a beautifully realized, and it is quite stunning visually, post-apocalyptic role-playing game that happens to be in an online format and can be played with other people. If you are more of a single-player gamer like me, don't let the online nature of Fallout 76 put you off. It's eminently playable as a single-player experience. If you are put off by the issues mentioned at the start, then maybe steer clear, or at least wait to see if patches address your concerns. Otherwise, I'd say grab the Deathclaw by the horns and jump in, but maybe wait till you have some power armor to do that. I'm just baffled, like, how little time, like, all of this is just explaining how the game works with, like, a mention of perks, crafting, base building. All of this is saying these major problems you all have had are not that big of a deal. And, like, that's the review. I don't understand, dude. Then again, I haven't heard of Impulse Gamer, but still. Excuse me. Sneezy. Really, really weird review. I'll be weird. I'll be real. I'm just... I've seen worse reviews, but like that whole thing, it basically came down to just, I like it because I like it. And that's okay. To be clear, I think if you're writing a review, you probably should have a little bit more to say than that. I would hope. But Guy just wants to say why he likes Fallout 76, not bring forward something to the UN. Well, yeah, Bryn, but like maybe my standards are higher, but I would assume if you're writing a review, the expectation is that you state your case, you score it, and then you justify your case. Like you're literally being paid to do that. Why are we just like, whatever. I mean, he says, it's not that big of a deal. Like he's reviewing it. His score gets tied into the Metacritic. His score helps determine like bonuses. We should have a like an expectation in the barest of bones that he manages to explain his position a little bit more comprehensively or coherently. I don't know. Who's reviewing that? Impulse Gamer. Impulse Gamer. I haven't heard of them, to be fair. But like these guys are still getting, regularly getting review codes and things which affect the Metacritic score, which affect bonuses for the employees, and like this review is like pretty hilariously lackluster. Like it's just, I don't mind these problems because I don't think they're that big of a deal because I like the game. Okay. Cool. But like I would hope that you could justify your case a little bit more. Like, why do you like it? Do you just like it? Okay. Let's see. You're thinking too logical. Yeah. I guess so. It's my curse. How would you feel if Sony made GTA 6 exclusive if the Activision deal goes through? They couldn't. There's literally no way. So I don't think it's even really worth entertaining. Because, I mean, for one, I think that type of contract negotiation would be just ridiculous. In terms of like console exclusive, that's more likely, but full on exclusive, there's no way. I mean, maybe they do like, even like a 3 to 6 month thing is extremely, extremely, extremely unlikely because Rockstar is going to make so much freaking money from that. So there's just no reason to do that. Review scores are stupid because you cannot put or rate something subjective like a review, in my humble opinion. I mean, the idea behind review scores, my problem is just it is subjective, I agree. And it's also, it's not just subjective for the individual, but it's subjective on a per game basis. So what is like, for one reviewer, something could be a 10. For another reviewer, it's a 7, just because of their predilections. So depending on who they assign to review it, the game could get a higher or lower score, and that kind of bugs me. I've been in the quest to try to come up with a sort of formula that can review a game and determine whether it's good or bad. But fundamentally, at the end of the day, you can only review it and rate it for the like individual people that based on their predispositions. Like a game reviewed, like you can't come up with a way to review a game where Super Mario Odyssey and Elden Ring are put into the same equation and they get fair scores for all players, because Mario fans are going to be fans of Mario games a lot more than they are of Elden Ring style games, and vice versa. So trying to come up with a score that's like, oh yes, Elden Ring is a 9.275 and Super Mario Odyssey is a 9.112, and so they're both good and worth playing, but those two groups of players are probably going to like those games very, very differently. It's going to be majorly different. So then you get into the realm of like buy, wait for sale, or don't touch. But even that to me gets weird because it's still based on what you like. And Game Pass, frankly, breaks all of this up. So my approach generally is just, I'll explain what I think of the game. I'll explain if I think it's worth full price where it is. or if it's even worth trying on Game Pass. Because there's some games I would say are just not even really worth trying on Game Pass, even on Game Pass. I'm like, eh. Like if Forspoken's on Game Pass, I'd be like, don't even bother. It sucks. Easy. Or like maybe the equivalent would be PlayStation Plus, you know. So that's what I would say. That's like comparing Sonic Frontiers to Wolong Dynasty. Yeah, it's just, you're not going to achieve anything. The fan bases are different. The player bases are different. And you're not going to come up with a way to score those where it reflects it. Like, I think you can say this is a 10 out of 10 for FromSoft fans. And that's what these reviews basically are. When you look at IGN giving Elden Ring a 10 out of 10, that's a 10 out of 10 for Elden Ring fans, for FromSoft fans, I should say. And then like Mario Odyssey getting a 10. That is a 10 out of 10 for Mario fans. If you're not a Mario fan, you're probably not going to find it to be a 10 out of 10. You might, but probably not. Wolong is good, that first boss though. Oh, once it clicks, new kid, it clicks. Like once it clicks, you're going to have an easy time with the rest of the game. I really think that Wolong is probably one of the easiest Soulsborne style games in recent memory, because once that parry system clicks with you, it's a joke. Like the rest of the game just falls into place, partially because the enemy variety is so poor that you never really get challenged again after the first like 5 hours. So that's a good amount of it. Sekiro certainly is harder than Wolong. I don't even think that's a controversial statement. I think pretty clearly Sekiro is way harder. And Wolong, I'll be real, Saul Goodman, Wolong feels like you're running around a microscopic creature on top of a chicken nugget. The whole game is so ugly. Textures are terrible. It's a really, really ugly game. Sekiro is the hardest game I've ever played, and it's not even close. Well, here's the thing, Brandon. Like, I would agree. Sekiro is very, very difficult. But I think, like, there are some people I've spoken to who find it really easy. Like, hold on. Sekiro. Let me see if I got this. Maybe this one. Maybe this. I'm just trying to find like a run that's no hit. Because like what some of these guys are able to do, it's like you see what this guy's doing here. He clipped him into the door and then he just goes crazy. This is kind of a bad example.
Tanner super chatted $4.99. Here's to hoping for 16x the detail.
Dude, this is so broken. Tanner, thank you for the $4.99. I hope for the 16 times the detail too. We deserve it. We need it. It'll make the world a better place. This is so stupid that you can just go like this and he clips into the wall and you stun lock him. That's pretty broken. But like you look at some of these fights with people that are really good at this game and it's just not even close. It's like hilariously broken. But it's because once you get that gimmick down, the game's easy. And I think it's the same problem with Wolong, and I have the same problem with Sekiro, where once you get the like feeling of the parry system, it's very, very easy to do. Like, look at that. It's ridiculous. Done. Whereas like Elden Ring, there's so many bosses, there's so much content. Oh, dude, I got stuck on this guy for so long. That there is really no gimmick. Like there's no one thing that you figure out and, oh, now the game is easy. Like even in Bloodborne, once you know the parry system, it's not that hard. By the way, this guy, go check him out. He's Lil Aggie. Lil Aggie. Go check him out. He's doing no-hit speed runs of Sekiro. That's crazy. Pop. That fight took me so long. It's about to happen again. This is cool. I started to walk away, and then this happens, and I'm like, okay, what the like, I lost my shit, because I grinded for like an hour and a half to get past this first phase back when the game came out, and then this happens. Oh, man. But you know, even once you figure out Sekiro's system with the parries and everything, even then the game is still very, very difficult. I don't think there's like it's quite on the level of Wolong. Wolong just feels easy, even with the broken controls. It took you a long. Me love you a long time. So stupid. Oh man. Oh man. Oops, I pressed a button. I don't know what I did. I guess we can look at this one. Pressed a button. This is Gelot, maybe? Jello. This fight sucked ass. This was miserable. But like again, you see these guys that have the parries down, and it's just not even close. It's ridiculous. Not taking a single hit, just whack, whack, whack. He's blocking too. I will say Sekiro also was pretty forgiving with the spam the block to parry, so you could kind of like, you can spam it a little. But man, this fight was tough, dude. This is giving me PTSD. Please stop showing Sekiro. I feel you, brother. I feel you. This one sucked, and then this one. The next, like, phase or whatever. Oh, wait, that was it. Then the little cutscene plays. That's, like, kind of underwhelming. I remember being like, okay. Oh, right, because I skipped the first phase. This is the first phase. It's been a minute. He must have gone through that first phase super quick. Does this make you feel terrible at video games yet, watching this? Makes me feel terrible at video games. Like, whack, whack, whack. Yeah, dude, he's just plowing through him. But, like, once you've memorized these movesets, it's really not that hard. It's pretty straightforward. But all told, no. Wolong is nowhere near that hard. Wolong is nowhere near that hard. In my opinion. I did not find it anywhere near that difficult. Okay. Sekiro might be the best FromSoft game. For some people it is. For others, I would say that it's like... I don't know. Elden Ring was so approachable. There's so much content there. And there's so many playstyles too. That's the other crazy thing. There's just so much. There's so much there. Dark Souls 2, come at me. We got a contrarian in here, boys. We got a contrarian. Oh, man. Oh, boy. What was the other thing I was going to check out? I was going to check out something else. Let me... Let's see. Oh, I probably put it in here. Yes, okay. This was something that was kind of funny. This happened today as well. We all know that the Activision Blizzard stuff is a mess. Everybody's trying to figure out what the hell is going on with it. Everybody's trying to figure out, like, oh, is Sony going to figure it out? Are they going to be able to get the deal shut down? Is Microsoft going to be able to save it and get this thing to come together? Everybody's wondering. And they just had this piece release, which was honestly, like, it's pretty pathetic if I'm being real. Sony suggests to the CMA, which is the European, like, board that they have to convince. They suggest to them that Microsoft could release a buggy version of Call of Duty on PlayStation, which could make gamers lose confidence, quote, in PlayStation as a go-to venue to play Call of Duty. Seriously. Let's read it ourselves. Third, swiftly detecting any diversions from and ensuring compliance with a commitment as to technical or graphical quality would be challenging. For example, Microsoft might release a PlayStation version of Call of Duty where bugs and errors emerge only on the game's final level or after later updates. Even if such degradations could be swiftly detected, any remedy would likely come too late, by which time the gaming community would have lost confidence in PlayStation as a go-to venue to play Call of Duty. Indeed, as Modern Warfare 2 attests, Call of Duty is most often purchased in just the first few weeks of release. If it became known that the game's performance on PlayStation was worse than on Xbox, Call of Duty gamers would decide to switch to Xbox for fear of playing their favorite game at a second-class or less competitive venue. Little bit conspiratorial, I'll be real. They're like, well, we can't, because bear in mind, this is in response to Microsoft being like, we'll bring it to PlayStation. We'll bring it to your platform, okay? We'll play nice. Sony's like, yeah, but they might do it, and then they might hide bugs and hide, like, performance issues later in the game so that we can't detect it in time. What? Okay, like, this is basically a conspiracy theory filed in court. And it's really, really funny. They go on, Sony isn't happy with Microsoft's Call of Duty 10-year deal. Microsoft have, quote, dragged their feet, engaging only when they sensed the regulatory outlook was darkening, and favored negotiating in the media over engaging with SIE. Nintendo and Nvidia both signed the 10-year deal, though. Bear in mind, reports have come out that, what's his name? Dingus McFlicker. Jim Ryan. That's close to Dingus McFlicker, right? Well, that's pretty close. President of Sony Interactive Entertainment, Dingus, Jim Ryan. He came out and, or it's been leaked rather, it's been suggested and reported that he has stopped attending meetings and calls. He's not actually negotiating with Microsoft. So, like, this is projection at its finest. And I'm about to show you something that shows that PlayStation's the one that's actually doing all of this stuff, but we'll get there in just a second. Sony, what they said was, quote, as the CMA is aware, SIE made known its concerns about the transaction to Microsoft almost a year ago. In the intervening period, Microsoft has not shown any real commitment to reaching a negotiated outcome. They have dragged their feet, engaged only when they sensed the regulatory outlook was darkening, and favored negotiating in the media over engaging with SIE. Microsoft's most recent proposal, which SIE received blank, is telling. That proposal fails to provide adequate protection for PlayStation's access to Call of Duty or for competition. Instead, it reveals Microsoft's lack of commitment to ensuring full and equal access to Call of Duty, confirms the risks of a behavioral remedy outlined in the guidelines, and reinforces SIE's belief that Microsoft intends to use Call of Duty strategically to dominate the gaming sector. Microsoft says its 10-year deal for Call of Duty on PlayStation means any Call of Duty game can be on Sony's subscription service. Sony says Microsoft's proposal for licensing terms is, quote, troubling and would, quote, commercially destroy SIE's multi-game subscription business model. Okay. What they say is, let's see. The remedy will provide that the wholesale price of COD games offered to Sony, wholesale price is some cut for the equivalent version of the game on the Xbox platform, streaming rights and subscription rights. Any COD game in a Microsoft multi-game subscription is eligible for inclusion in Sony's multi-game subscription service at the same time and for the same duration. Okay. Rumors have had it that, again, they'll offer it for the wholesale price, which is at some discount for the equivalent version of the game on the Xbox platform. So, you know, they're offering a tit for tat. And they've said all this. And so, again, the main protestation from PlayStation is that PlayStation or Xbox rather might be leading to versions of the game that run worse on their platform, which would make them look less competitive and therefore bad. You want to know what's really rich about this? Guess what PlayStation's been doing? They've been doing the same thing to polish, sending 150 employees to help polish games that they think are going to be popular so that they run better on PlayStation and thus worse on Xbox, so that people see PlayStation as the definitive place to play games. Again, in a roundabout way, without paying for exclusivity. This is one thing Jim Ryan's done, which to his credit is actually pretty smart. He figured out that, hey, we don't need to pay for outright exclusivity of a game like Callisto Protocol. We don't need to do that. All we need to do is buy the rights to marketing, so everybody passively just assumes it's exclusive. And we need to offer support and polish for the games on our platform so they run better. Done. And that's what they did with Hogwarts Legacy. And to this day, people still think that Hogwarts Legacy is exclusive to PlayStation. Even though there's no reason to think that. They think that because PlayStation owned the advertising rights. Same with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Because they bought the advertising rights, so all of the trailers will have the PlayStation 5 logo, will have all of that stuff on their platform to make it look exclusive to PlayStation, even though it's not. And again, that's very, very strategic. And this is why, again, there are arguments to be made against the ATVI acquisition. Sony is the worst possible group to be making these arguments because it's the pot calling the kettle black. They are guilty of everything that they accuse Xbox of wanting to do, which also just hurts their image because for regular gamers like you and me who don't care where we play games, we just want to play good games, it just makes them look pathetic. And that's what this looks like. It looks pathetic. And yeah, I've had people come in. I've had Sony ponies come in and be like, you're just an Xbot. Like, how many Xbots do you know that own 3 PS5s? Okay, like, chill the hell out. I love Sony games. I love their PlayStation exclusives for sure. Look behind me. Right there. That's The Order 1886, a commercial flop of a console exclusive. That's The Last of Us Part 2, one of the most awarded games in history. It was the most until Elden Ring came along. Behind Todd. No, Todd, no. I have Horizon Forbidden West's collector's edition there. I love PlayStation stuff. I don't love corporate bigwigs arguing in extremely disingenuous ways and being like really crummy. I don't like that. I have a problem with that. Salvador, thank you for the £5. Is it going to read it? Maybe.
Salvador
Yes.
Yoret Farina super chatted $6.04. Can we please discuss Paradox's showcase? No Bloodlines 2 mentioned even after the sales of Collector's Ed. OG release
Really?
date was over 1 year ago.
Really? No Bloodlines 2 mentions even after the sales of the collector's edition. Really? Interesting. When was the showcase? Was it like today? Was it 2 days ago? Paradox announcement show 2 days ago. 2023 live stream. Because I'm not familiar with this. Huh. You Sony Pony Xbot? Yeah. Well, it's so funny. Like, you guys know because you hang out on the stream and then these videos and stuff. Like, you guys know that I am far from like an Xbot or a Sony Pony. I like calling them all out the same. But Like, so these people that come in passing, like they end up making themselves look like such morons because they just say the stupidest stuff. They announced a Sims competitor. Okay, so let me pull this up. Let's watch it. I can try to land on the moon and Kerbal while we do it. Okay, we'll do like a reaction thing. You ready? Let's see what they got. Let me just say, I do love Paradox. Okay, I love their stuff. Like, I just do. It's called Life by You. Oh man, that's pretty stupid. I don't know if I like that name. that's pretty dumb. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I like Paradox's stuff. Some of my favorite like guilty pleasure games are from them. I do love Paradox stuff, so I will be real. I'm sort of a Paradox fanboy. But let's see what they got. Oh, is this where the City Skylines 2 was announced? That makes sense. Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. Because we watched that trailer release on Monday. So that makes sense. Okay.
Hi, this is the Paradox Interactive Announcement Show, where we're going to take you on an epic journey through our game universes. A show packed with the biggest news across the board. A new adventure game from Harebrained Schemes, a new game from Rod Humble and the team at Paradox Tectonic, and something huge from Colossal Order.
I'll give them credit. Like, I didn't think that Paradox was this big, like, to have their own show. Like, this is kind of cool. I just didn't think they were in this league yet, but props to them. I mean, it's cool.
And news and updates from a bunch of our titles, such as Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis, and Surviving the Aftermath. This show is for all our players out there.
Is this what my content feels like with the multiple cameras? Just the constant, like...
It's for you who take the art of city building into perfection, creating the city of your dreams. It is for you who want to see the great empires clash and change the course of history, or maybe just want to stir up some juicy intrigues at a royal wedding. It's for you who can't wait for the next big adventure with mysterious secrets and lethal discoveries. This show is for you.
Yay!
Are with us in the studio today.
This seems like one of those things where they have like a really small studio audience and they just end up like miking everybody, and so it just doesn't sound very good.
The CEO of Paradox Interactive, Frederick Wester.
Yay! You're a dude.
So first and foremost, welcome to you all who's logged in from across the globe. We're super happy to show this to you today, and I think we've all had a secret at once that we've been dying to tell the world, but we just haven't been able to. Maybe we've been prevented by the rules.
I killed a guy, and that's my secret. What's yours?
So the stock exchange, or maybe you've had a project that just hasn't reached the state where you feel comfortable enough to show it to the world. We know exactly what you feel like. But here today, luckily, we have a couple of projects who reached that state. So we're going to show you a handful of new games. We're going to show you a range of DLCs and updates for our current games. And we're obviously going to update a couple of the games that we've already announced but are yet to be released. But you're not here to hear me talk, obviously. You're here
damn
to
right.
watch the games. So let's just move on to it. And here's the first trailer.
Very difficult. Never have I seen a lock this complex. Only a true master could. I got it.
Ooh, only a true master, huh?
Exactly. These fingers are the pride of Cairo. Did I ever tell you about the time?
Are those famous fingers done yet?
Corporal, check that out!
and tackle. Anyone spare a match?
Well, what do you know? Didn't even get to use my gun.
There are other ways to solve problems, you know?
I like the theming, but I know this is like the game is gonna look nothing like this.
Stefan Konstantin Dumitrash super chatted $5.41.
Thank you, my friend.
Life by You is a Sims-like which could use Skylines 2 cities to live a life from an on-foot third-person perspective. Huge potential.
Weird. Okay. Okay, they're about to... I mean, I guess we'll get there soon. Okay. I like the
What's up,
theming.
Stockholm? Wish we could be with you, but we're here in Seattle finishing the game.
We're excited to tell you what we've been working on.
We're Harebrained Schemes. You may know us from our other games, the Shadowrun Trilogy and Battletech. Our new game is called The Lamplighters League and the Tower at the End of the World.
Okay.
It's 1932, and a secret occult war is nearly lost. The forces of evil are so close to victory, claiming the very source of magic itself. The best of the best are all dead, so you'll need the best of the worst. Thieves, scoundrels, cutthroats, and traitors to stop them.
Just like our other games, the Lamplighters League features turn-based tactical combat.
But unlike our other games, this one adds a real-time infiltration phase.
In real time, you'll scout the enemy,
Oh,
exploit
weird.
the position before deciding that things are going to get loud.
I like
distracted.
lowering the risk. So I'll go around and I'll pick off key
Oh,
enemies that I
bad.
don't
I
want
got distracted.
in my fight. So I get to pick and choose how I engage.
What is it
You can just
doing?
steamroll your way down one way or increase your options. It kind
Oh,
of really
I'm
depends on
screwed.
how you want to play.
You never seem to run out of like the depth of choice, right? And it's constantly surprising.
And even when things look really dire, you can like snatch victory from defeat. You can also snatch defeat from victory, but like, you know.
I do think one of my favorite things about the gameplay is that combinatory factor, is finding those combinations, not just of characters bouncing off of each other, but how can I use the environment? What combination is best for this mission compared to another mission?
I really, really appreciate the focus on story and the focus on character, and the ability to kind of see these people change and grow over the course of the game.
I like the mix of a problem to solve to keep these characters alive while I grow more attached to them every mission. They're very human and they don't come together without
I love
friction,
the
so
setting.
It's pleasant to watch them interact with each other as they try and get out of tough scrapes.
Yeah, we made it so that they all have things to say to each other, both on and off the field. You know, we really tried to make them as much of a team, a reluctant team at first, but a team as possible.
Everyone here are the best of the worst, so to speak. They are rogues. These are not the people you look to save the world. It is about them doing what they have to do to survive and doing what they have to do to really just get ahead.
When you play and you try different characters, you know, I've said it before, but it's kind of a new experience every time.
Thanks for watching.
And now back to you in the studio.
Calling me intrigued. It looks pretty good.
Wow! Tombs and treasures, misfits and monsters. The Lamplighters League is a thing, and it's coming out this year. We're off to a good start.
Why do they let devs do this? I don't know. Like, let's be real. Not everybody is like gifted as an orator. Like, you know what? Yeah. There's some really cringy, clunky dialogue that happens sometimes, but they're describing something they're passionate about. You know, they know the game better than anybody, so why not have them try to do it? You know, everybody else is going to be probably worse at explaining it than they are. It's like you could have the marketing team do it, but like we saw with frickin' Assassin's Creed Mirage, you have the marketing team manage some of this stuff. And sometimes it goes well. Other times they accidentally rated adults only.
So maybe they're like, you know what, we'll just handle this. We got this. Don't let the morons in marketing. And again, maybe this is mean, but this was like the running joke in business school, which is that marketing degrees are for people whose like daddies wanted them to get a business degree, but they weren't smart enough to get like a finance degree, so they all go and get marketing degrees instead because it's easier. We might have some marketing majors in here. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sure marketing people have jokes about finance guys, but finance guys always tease marketing people because marketers just, from my perspective, sit around and talk about their favorite colors, and then they get paid way more than a lot of the finance guys. So I'm biased.
But we want more. Here we go.
A tournament, a time for festivity and games, but also an occasion to build alliances. Some even bloodier than the martial feats on display.
I like the art style.
An unhappy princess. Can she find a champion for her dual cause? One whose virtue and valor can restore glory to her faded
Did I screw this up? I screwed this up.
Or one who will protect her name by hook or by crook and help her get revenge. Real strategy requires cunning.
You're really giving the role players out there what they want.
We are indeed. This expansion is full of things for the role players. You can take your entourage and set out on the road, go on a great tour across your realm, or set off to foreign realms to participate in tournaments, among other things.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. What will you be able to do more exactly?
You will be able to become the grand champion of tournaments by going to various realms and participating. Of course, there's a lot of other things you can
you know what, I don't have that big of a problem with like the devs being involved. My thing is with like the hosts that they have in these things sometimes, who clearly like have no idea what the game is about. Like they have no idea what this is. They probably don't play games. It's like when they hired Anisha, is that her name? Anisha Tyler or Taylor? She's the one that like was hired to take over Whose Line Is It Anyway? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, that's why I'm super screwed up. How do I fix this? Oh God. And she like, I think she was hired for the Game Awards in like 2013. No, she was. What it was is the Ubisoft showcase for E3. She was brought in to like run that, and she had no idea what she was talking about. It was so awkward. The whole thing was so weird. And I was just like, why did you do this? Like, hire somebody that knows what they're doing. There are plenty of celebrities who are also gamers. Hire those guys. They'll do it. Like, why do you have to hire these people that have no idea what, like, these games are? Why do you hire them? That doesn't make any sense. And, like, to be fair, I'm not sure who this is. Does anyone know who this lady is? Because I don't, and I feel bad that I don't. Maybe I should, but I'm not familiar.
You have opportunities for
hire Henry Cavill. He would do well. The thing I've learned about some of these celebrities is that a lot of them have their managers negotiate all this stuff for them, so they can't take stuff, and they're part of unions, which is the other thing. So they can't just take deals for fun or because they're passionate about it, like because their managers have to get paid on it. So the manager is like, it doesn't matter if you really want to do this, like host E3 or host the Game Awards. It doesn't matter. You don't get to, because you have in your contract that you'll pay us 10% and our minimums are this. And then you also are a member of this union where if your time is used, you have to charge this amount. So you have to do all these things. So to a large extent, you can't do it. I did a play called On Golden Pond with a very nice older gentleman named Jonathan Farwell, who is in like, he was in a couple episodes of Star Trek, and he was a member of SAG-AFTRA and all of those groups.
And he's, you know, a very accomplished actor, very serious guy, a big wig. But he wanted to do this play with us, and he wasn't allowed to because he was a member of this actors union unless he was paid in full. So he had to be paid in full by the director and the theater company, and then he redonated. He basically donated back everything that he had earned to try and like make it even Steven. But that was, you know, a bit of a stretch, to say the least. So it's not always as simple as like, oh, we'll just hire this guy to do it. It can be kind of tough sometimes. Recruit and deploy, third base. Okay, this is all pretty standard. Life by You, that's what we were talking about.
Tomorrow.
Awesome! Yeah! Thank you so much! Thank you for joining us. For you who just tuned in, what did you miss? Well, we just announced the Lamplighters League, a new game where you will be able to steal, sneak, and shoot your way around the world. We discovered tours and tournaments in Crusader Kings, where the festivities doesn't always pan out the way it was intended for everyone involved. We have a bunch of news and updates for our games, so don't go anywhere. And remember, we promised you something big from City Skylines, and it's coming soon.
Yeah, it is.
But I can see that Fred is back, and I bet it's for an important reason. Over to you, Fred.
Maybe. Or
Thank
maybe
you,
he's
Paula.
full of it.
So we've been asked questions of what our studio in Berkeley, Paradox Tectonic, has been up to. And we're happy to tell you that it's a new...
And let me be clear. You only become a CEO of a major multi-million-dollar company like this. They might even be multi-billion. I'm not sure about Paradox's size, but you only get to this point by being like very good at what you're doing. Like being a savvy businessman. This doesn't just happen. Okay? Like, it's kind of a big deal. There we go. But, and this guy, I mean, I'm sure he's very, very savvy. But like whenever they do these presentations where they talk, it always is just a bad look. Because it's like, dude, this is just not for you. This ain't your game. It's okay. It's not everybody's game. Not everybody is like really good on stage. It's okay. But it's just not a good look.
Game, but not only that, it's also a new genre to Paradox. So it's something super exciting and something that is incredibly new to us that we can explore and take further. But not only, we're going to tell you a lot more about this game going forward during the spring, but we're going to start with a little teaser trailer here at the Paradox announcement show, and it starts now.
Let's see it. Life by You. March 20th.
Life by You. Mark March 20th in your calendar for the announcement event. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. You will have this teaser trailer there too for you to analyze and dissect. Now,
Interesting. So it's a Sims competitor. I'm down. I mean, everybody thought that like SimCity was too big to take on, and then Paradox came in and clobbered them over the head with City Skylines. So if anybody could take it over, I guess it would be them. Oh, did my Kerbal die again? No, he's fine. I just can't talk or communicate to it. That's tremendous. Love that. Okay. Anyway. Announcing the announcement at an announcement event is weird. I mean, I get it. I agree. I don't love it. I think what they're doing is they're doing it because they want to have more time dedicated to it. Which, I mean, I'm down to have more time, let it kind of have its moment to shine. But I agree, it's weird to like come along and be like, okay, you all came all this way and you're watching this event. Well, we're gonna wait.
Well, this expansion is the newest what Europa Universalis for, and it's gonna be epic, it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be deep and global. We are gonna cover Spain, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Also France, Britain, the Ottomans, China, Russia, Japan. So
Can't
those
do
are a
any
little bit of the
maneuvers,
countries
that's
that we wanted to change, kind of, to make it more global and more fun.
But how did you decide on this theme?
Well, if you think about this, these
No.
countries are the most played by our players. So we really wanted to do like something challenging, something new, something fresh for them. So we really wanted to change the whole experience for them, so they kind of feel that we wanted to give some love.
Yeah, thank you for that. But if I'm then replaying one of these great empires, what new things will I be able to discover there?
Well, we are adding new mechanics, new mission trees. So kind of if you want to play with Spain, for instance, you will have a new complete set of missions. We are also adding branching missions, which is extremely fun to play because you kind of decide the faith of your nation. And of course, government reforms, state and privileges, units, of course, music pack, all in. We went all
Oh
in for
God,
this.
no!
You certainly did, but when will we be able to play it?
Well, anytime soon, actually.
Yeah.
So, just
Well,
wish list it now.
shit.
All right, wish list it is. Thank you.
Now I'm orbiting the sun. I
Here's
don't want to
a
orbit the
quick
sun. I
look
wanted to
at
orbit
more
this.
great
Damn it,
Paradox
mother.
games coming out real soon.
A power older than time has returned. Free from their imprisonment, ancient wizard kings come, seeking lost magics and new realms to conquer, turning all whom they encounter by choice or by force. Through strife, champions arise. New unities are founded.
Okay. Sounds like Sean Bean.
And powerful arcane knowledge unlocked. As gods and mortals clash, the forces unleashed will shape a new age of wonders.
Age of Wonders 4. The Morbin time. I'm just gonna have to do this by hand, aren't I? That sucks. Does anyone know how to fix this where it says control locked for maneuver node? Now will it let me? Nope. Let me look it up. Oh. Autonomous investment system? That's kind of cool. Dude, see, people are always like, Luke, what's your guilty pleasure game? What games do you like to just vibe to? It's games like this. Like, it's games like this. I love these sim games. Into your options, toggle new communications settings. I don't see that setting. I don't know.
tell you the story. When they arrived, those early days were filled with hope and marvel. All that knowledge, all the answers to the mysteries of the universe within our grasp. But we soon realized the knowledge came with a price.
I just want a Hearts of Iron 5. I would kill for a whole Darkest Tower sequel. Dude, I used to play so much Hearts of Iron. My brother Joe still plays tons of Hearts of Iron. He loves it. I'd like to play more of it, but...
The spirit of our people could never be broken. And eventually, we reclaimed our home and forced them to leave.
Forced them to leave.
Will they come back?
They are still out there. But the next time we meet them, we will be prepared.
Okay. Stellaris. Distant Dream is now within reach. They really have found a niche with all this. It's kind of amazing that they've been able to just focus on these types of like RTS base building strategy games, and they are like a very successful company. How much is like Paradox worth? Oh, they're listed. They're publicly traded. What? At least a part of them is. And their market cap is 24.86 billion SEK. What are SEK? To USD. Okay, SEK to USD. Yep, okay. And then Swedish krona. So 24. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Is the equivalent to. Whoop. So like $2.2 billion in the US. Is that right? So they're like a $2 to $3 billion company, but still in the billions. Really? Because this is what I'm looking at. But okay, 21 USD. PBUL, PUBL. I think that means public, like the public section of it. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's a way bigger company than I was expecting. 656 employees. Net income. I think most of this, yeah, this is in Swedish krona. Earnings before interest, taxes, debt, and appreciation. Or in a... It's really not bad. I'm actually pretty impressed. These are the sleeper guys. I don't know, maybe this is an acquisition for Microsoft. Swoop in, pick these guys up. Sony, actually. This would be a really interesting acquisition for Sony. Because Sony has like no presence in the PC market. And this would be a way to just swoop in and all of a sudden be like a major force in the PC market. That's interesting. That might be a play. I never thought that they were that big of a company, but they have always been like really aggressive with monetization of some of their franchises. Like if you've played Hearts of Iron, if you've played, well, really anything that they've done, there's all sorts of DLC packs. There's tons of stuff. So it doesn't really surprise me that they are doing this type of thing. But maybe that's an acquisition.
Just for you. And I'm gonna hand it over to Fred and Marina, who are gonna deliver it straight to you.
Thank you, Paula. Fred here, and I'm back. And this time, joining me is CEO of Colossal Order, Marina Hallikainen. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Fred. I am so happy to be here. And we have been working together for the longest of times, right?
We have. I still remember that demo you sent over to us in 2009, I think it was. So time flies, huh?
Stefan Constantin Dumitrash super chatted $5.41.
It did.
If someone would hypothetically
Sure,
want
you
to buy
could say
BioWare
that, yeah.
and all their
And,
IPs from EA to save it, what would be the price, provided EA would agree to sell it?
And all their IP from EA, what would be the price provided? I mean, it's extremely complicated because you have to price out what the IP are worth. That's a super frilly thing because what a lot of companies do is like they'll pull up like, I don't know, just to do like a super basic thing. I think maybe this could demonstrate it. Boo, 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 boo. Come on. Load. Taking its sweet time. Maybe. Is it going to work? No. Okay. Well, so, like, valuations for corporations are extremely complicated. There's so many pieces of it. And with like IP, that's something that is somewhat arbitrary. Like if I asked you how much is Dragon Age worth, I don't know. Like how do you put a dollar price tag on that? How you probably do it is you go based off sales performance in the past, and then you go and you figure out, okay, well, we would project based on all this analysis that the next entry would perform at this level. And usually they'll price it out like maybe 20 years. And you could look at it and say, okay, well, over the course of 20 years, we guess that the profit, not the revenue, but the profit generated by Dragon Age would be at this level and would be this dollar amount. And so we have to tie that into the value of the acquisition, is you're going to be getting all of that. But other franchises like, you know, maybe Anthem. Like, how do you value Anthem? You could say, well, maybe you could reboot it and then do a sequel that blows everybody away. Maybe that's worth something. But is Anthem as a franchise really worth that much? I don't think so. It is a recognizable name, which is a lot, but that is something. But you have to price out and figure out what the value is for each of these franchises, which is tricky. Secondly, and usually, to be clear, this comes from like the head honchos of the target or the company that's targeting the acquisition. So like if Microsoft wanted to buy them, they'd have to go in there and be like, hey, we want this franchise for these prices. And sometimes it can be a little sneaky. People have been suggesting maybe Microsoft isn't that interested in Call of Duty. Well, they are interested, but they're also interested in like King, because King has Candy Crush and all of those crazy successful games, or maybe that's EA. But either way, King has a ton of mobile games under their belt. So maybe they're more interested in that, or they're okay with just getting the mobile developer if they can't get Activision and Call of Duty and stuff. So sometimes there's some sneaky stuff. Like one time when I was working in real estate, we had this guy who wanted to buy, there was like a suite of buildings. It was in one big parking lot basically, but it was like I think it was 4 buildings in this area, and he only really wanted the bigger building because it was like a big building and then 3 satellite buildings around it. He only really wanted the big building because he knew once he got the big building and fixed it up that he would be getting all of the renters, you know, it would start to gentrify and he would get what he wanted. And eventually the owner would be kind of pushed out and he'd stop having people renting and all of this other stuff. So he wanted the big building, but he didn't want the seller who owned all of it to know that he only really wanted the big building. Because if the seller knew that, the seller would just go and play hardball and but just with that big building. He'd be like, yeah, I'll sell you the big building, but I'm going to charge you extra for these little ones, and you have to buy them all together. So you play kind of coy, and you're like, in this case, I really want Dragon Age, but they can't know that I only want Dragon Age. They have to think that I want all of it, or they have to think that I really want Anthem, or I really want one of these others, so that I can be like, I guess whatever. It's the same thing people do like at pawn shops or flea markets or yard sales, where they'll find one thing they really, really want. It's like, oh, this is a $1,000 thing that's priced at $5 or priced at $100. And so they go in there and they're like, I'll grab this other thing I don't really give a crap about, and I'll add it to the purchase. And I'll say, okay, can I get all of this stuff for the $100? And they're like, sure, whatever. And so then it seems like you're negotiating, you're being fair, but in reality, you only ever wanted the one thing. So usually there's a bunch of pieces that go into it in terms of targeting acquisitions and things like that. For taking on something like BioWare, you have to value the IP, you have to value the locations. Some of these locations, the studios have leases within big buildings. So you have to value the leases, usually negatively because you're paying to have them. But they might have major server infrastructure inside those buildings, and you have to price that out fairly. And then you got to figure, okay, well, what's the cost of the lawyers to change all the paperwork over? And your accounting company for payroll, are we using that same company, or do we have to get a new one? And what's the charge for that? Like, all of these things play into it. So it's never as simple as just, oh, we'll give you this money for these things. It's very, very tricky. And with targeting like a sub company within a bigger corporation and trying to get money that way is always extremely difficult. And I really don't think that EA probably would be willing to part with BioWare. Yeah, they've got problems, but EA's had some real success recently with single player games, and I don't think that they're willing to just dump one of their biggest studios. This reminds me of the time my town had a guy threaten him. A guy in my town, maybe, I don't know, threatened to turn his warehouse into a homeless shelter so the next door neighbor would buy him out. Honestly, not a bad idea. Like, it probably would work. I remember we had a neighborhood where there was like, it was a sketchy neighborhood. This thing was like filled with drug dealers, and there were murders there like once or twice a year. And the way they figured it out to get the thing done is the guy that wanted to buy one of the buildings, one of the fancy guys, like, that was really smart and clever, he wanted to buy these apartment buildings. They were dirt cheap because the neighborhood was terrible. What he did is he went to the local Catholic church charity thing, and he said, part of the reason this neighborhood is so bad is because the homeless shelter is held in this building on the other side of that chain link fence. I would like to move that to a separate area, and I'd like to provide a donation to help that happen. What would that be? And so he went, talked with the members and the head honchos at the Catholic charity. He made a donation, which honestly was probably in the realm of like $150,000, $200,000 as a donation to this charity to move the homeless shelter thing, whatever it was, to a different location far away from this neighborhood where he was buying dirt cheap apartment buildings. And the great thing is, now all those apartment buildings are going to gain a lot more value than the $200,000 he donated to the charity. And guess what? What are those donations to the Catholic charity? Tax deductible. So he got a tax deductible way of making a butt ton of money just because he thought kind of cleverly. But a lot of people don't. They're like, the neighborhood sucks. Oh, well. But this guy was like, the neighborhood sucks because of this one reason. I'm going to go find a way to fix that reason, and I'm going to make a butt ton of money doing it. So a lot of the time, like, the guys that make tons of money in business, and, whether it's video game development and acquisitions and things, or real estate, the guys that make the most money are the ones that are creative and clever, that think about those little tricks and then they just solve the problem. Yeah, work smarter, not harder. Yeah, the city got effed on the deal as they stopped looking for an alternative sites like an idiot. Of course they did, yeah. It was just like loopholes, man. That's how investing works. Find and exploit loopholes. Well, and honestly, sometimes it's just creative solutions. Sometimes that's all it is. It's just like that. The whole neighborhood was suffering because there were squatters that would come in, break into empty apartments, and sometimes even apartments that weren't empty. And they'd break in and they would start squatting because they could, and they would then just bounce between that unit and the homeless shelter around the corner. And so they were happy. They were living their best life, getting free places to live. And the whole neighborhood was dangerous as a result, and drugs and crime and everything flourished and thrived there. And so this investor comes in, and it's just like, I'll pay the $200,000 to get like a new dirt cheap site built 5 miles away. And this Catholic charity will love me because they'll get a new facility. The neighborhood will love me because I solved this problem for them, and I'm going to make a butt ton of money. And all I had to do was have a couple meetings with these charity people, and then I had to write a check that's tax deductible. So it's crazy. What exactly is squatting? I imagine somebody taking shit. Squatting is where you go into a location that's usually vacant, and then you live there for a period of time. And after a set period of time, you have what are called squatters' rights, where you can claim that you are the legal resident and that you shouldn't be kicked out because you are there and, hey, I'm here. Fair's fair. I should get to stay. And you have to then do a formal eviction. So one of the buildings we were selling, he had like 1 or 2 squatters in the building who had just been living there rent-free for like 3 months, but they had never been kicked out. So they said, look, I get my mail here. I basically live here. Yeah, I don't pay rent, but the building was empty. And in Colorado, there are rules protecting that. So they have to go through a formal eviction and all this stuff. And, you know, we never had problems quite on the level. Like my grandpa way back in the day, he eventually lost all his money for various reasons. But back in like the 80s, my grandpa was apparently quite successful as a lawyer. And he had some apartment buildings he owned in Denver. But he had tenants kind of like that who would break in and squat. And when he finally got them evicted, they would take concrete bags and they would dump them down the drains of the toilets and sinks and showers and things out of spite for being evicted. And I think it kind of made my grandpa a little racist, I'll be real. Because for him, according to him, it was always one racial group that caused these problems for him. And so I think it made him a little bit racist. I'll be completely real with you. But it's because like he kept having this issue and he just got frustrated. Now he's like, see, these people always do that. And you know what? I can't imagine. Like, imagine you have a house you're renting out. And you find out somebody poured concrete down the drains. That's just evil. That's just nasty. I get the idea behind squatters' rights, to be clear. Like, it seems to be designed to, like, if somebody's homeless and freezing to death and they find an abandoned shack and they decide to live there through the cold winter, they shouldn't be, like, prosecuted for breaking and entering, basically. Like, that's not fair. It was abandoned and they needed a place to stay, otherwise they would die. So the laws are there to kind of protect people in those instances. But it's definitely abuse. Like we had, because one time we were doing a showing and I think her name was Jessica, I think is what her name was. But we did a showing with some potential buyers of this building that I had listed, and one of the squatters was there, and we knew that she had a tendency to be like a little violent, or at least threatened to be violent. So I called the police sergeant
that I had the contact number for, and he brought another officer, and they came 10 minutes before the showing was set to take place. And I explained to them, like, you can offer, or you can call the police and basically ask for like it's a standby, or I think is what they call it, or something like that. But basically they come and they just oversee. They follow you and make sure everything's okay. They keep the peace. And so these police officers showed up, and we opened the door. The squatter lady is there, and the sergeant goes, "Hey, Jessica, how's it going?" He knew her on a first name basis because she so commonly got into trouble for drugs and prostitution. Squatting at other places was the biggest thing. That they knew her on a first name basis. It's crazy. Like, her job was not to like go to work. Her job, and how she did it, was that she would go and squat from place to place to place to place, often in the same neighborhood, just moving apartments. She'd just kick the window in of the next place, move into it, live there for a day or two. And what she would do is she would go in there with a letter addressed to herself, pretending it was like from her mom. And she would pay the 50 cents for the stamp. And the moment she figured out where she was going to move into, she would go and she would put the letter in the envelope and ship it off to herself at this address. So it would show up the next day or 2 days later. And then when the police came to evict her and kick her out, or not to evict her, but to kick her out, she would show, look, I have an official stamped letter. I'm getting my mail here. I have squatter's rights, which where we were, she had squatter's rights then. And so they couldn't just kick her out. They couldn't just grab her and take her away for breaking and entering. She now had squatter's rights. So like, she had gotten this down to a system where she was just like a pro. And it sounds insane, but some people just do that. One time I volunteered at a Thanksgiving event. It was at the homeless shelter, but it was like a Thanksgiving thing where like we packaged food for families that couldn't afford Thanksgiving dinner. So they would come and pick up like a paper bag, and they would get all the food inside, and they could get a couple of toys for their kids as well that were donated. And I still remember being behind the table, all these people lined up to come and get food to feed their families and everything. And there were like 5 to 10 people in that line who came, and like they had to provide certain documents. They had to have all this stuff. And there were 5 to 10 people that had these binders with all the documents laid out very clearly, like laminated, hole punched, arranged very neatly. And I was like, if you're this organized with this stuff, how do you not like, and most of these guys, I think one of the requirements was that you couldn't have had a job. Like you had to be homeless or unemployed or something. I don't remember. It was years and years ago. But it was something where it's like, if you're like this, if you can do this, you probably shouldn't be here. Like something is weird about this. And I was like, that guy had like everything arranged. And one of the older ladies who volunteered, and she's like, oh yeah, he comes in whenever we do events like this. He's they had a nickname for it. It was like, he's a chaser, or it was something like that. I don't remember, but it was basically he was a guy that would go around to all of the homeless shelters in northern Colorado. He would collect all this stuff, and it was just like a thing he did to get free food and free toys that he would then list on Craigslist and resell. And like, to me, I'm like, what a piece of crap. Like, he's going in there and taking these toys from kids that actually need the toys and that want the toys. He's going to try to flip them for a profit on Craigslist. Like, what a dick. But there are people that are just like that. They just mooch. It's weird. It's weird. But there was nothing we could do because we couldn't. He had the documents he needed. And what are we going to do? We're going to say, like, you don't really need this. Because the moment we say that to one person, who's to say that we won't say it to the next person who just appears that way and actually does need it? You know, it doesn't work. We had a homeless man in our town who actually owned multiple cars, an expensive house in one of the most affluent suburbs. Absolute scum. Yeah. No, here, relatively close to where we are, there's like a shopping center. And there is a group. There's like 3 ladies who always dress almost identically, like same skirts, same shirts. It would be like cultish if it... Like maybe it is, I don't know, for whatever, I don't know, maybe it is, but
it's like 3 ladies, often dressed almost identically, and then there's one dude. And these are all like maybe 50-year-old people. And they all hold signs at different intersections within like 2 square miles. And the signs are identical. Like made at the same time in the same way with the same pictures. And it's like 3 kids on the thing with a little picture of a small dog, and it says, "I need money to feed my family. Please help. God bless." And this whole family like stands at these corners and just holds these signs. It's really weird. And it's too bad because like I've met people that like actually needed help. And it's kind of sad to see that those people get a bad rep. Like there was one guy one time who was standing on the corner of the highway. And like he was just like, literally anything helps. Like if you have a granola bar, please. He's like, my car broke down. I have no money. I can't get back to my family in California. I just need help. I hate to ask, but I need help. And like he really needed help. And he's just asking for a stranger to help him. And you know, to see then those people that are doing it as like a professional job, like professional beggars, it kind of hurts my heart. Is this a Fox News broadcast now? Oh, God. I mean, if these are... I don't think these are Fox News talking points. I mean, maybe they are. What do I know? I don't think so. But, yeah, I'm not really a fan myself of that platform. Let's just say that. But, no, I mean... If you have a disagreement with anything I've said so far, I would love to hear it. I don't know what I've said that's like controversial. There's a lot of homeless people in Melbourne. Some police here are dicks and tell them to move on for trying to get warm. Yeah, I think like those shelters do amazing work. And that's why it's like if you can volunteer, if you can donate, like the thing to remember is like most of these people are just people like you and me. They just got down on their luck. They need like care and help and assistance, and like that's most of it. Like there are some scumbags out there, sure, but most of them, the overwhelming majority, actually do need help. Anyway, city skylines, right? Oh, we got on that creative solutions to business, and then the guy that we did a deal with who like paid the homeless shelter to move the place. Yeah, okay. I've connected the dots. Yeah, that's a roller coaster. I don't know how we got there. Megabyte, fun fact, I'm excited for Starfield, but whenever I remember that it's Bethesda's next big RPG title, all of the glitches and unpolished gameplay details are now chasing me. I don't know. I think that the game can still be good. But it's not going to be polished. Like, I don't care what anybody says. It's not going to be polished. If it's going to be polished, then I'll, I don't know. I'll do an Irish jig on the roof. I don't know what I would do, but like, there's no reason to think that it'll be polished magically. And this is like, I think that's just the difference between how some people think. For some people, they look at something like, the Starfield thing and they say, maybe this time they'll polish it. And I'm hopeful. I'm hyped. And then I am looking at it. I'm like, what are the reasons that they might do it this time? What are the reasons for maybe this time? And there usually isn't one. It's just like, well, there aren't any reasons to think maybe this time, but maybe. And I'm like, no, there should be a reason. Like, maybe this time it'll be great because X, Y, and Z. Maybe it'll be great this time because Xbox owns them. So maybe Xbox has given them extra funds and time. Maybe. And so the game will be good and it wasn't going to be good before. Maybe. Okay, that's a reason. But like usually there is no reason. It's just, well, I don't know, man. I'm just excited for Starfield. And I just, hype is something where like when it goes badly, it can ruin your enjoyment of the game. It can ruin like your whole day. Like, it can be a horrible thing to have hype go badly. Oh God, I overblew it. That's what I get for zooming too fast. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just like so bitter and scarred that now people are like, oh, Luke just is miserable. Luke's miserable. He could have had a really good time, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
It is turning 8 this Friday, actually. So happy birthday to City Skylines.
I love City Skylines.
Is there anything you want to add on top of that?
Absolutely. I think we should have a look.
It was such a weird transition. Absolutely. I think we should have a look. Okay, the music starts. It's just so weird and awkward. Dude, I live for these awkward gaming presentations. Like, what was it? What was the really funny one? Wasn't there a really terrible E3? Was it like 2015? 2018 was pretty cringe too. Oh, Jesse Wellens. Do you guys remember Jesse Wellens? You remember this guy?
What up, guys?
He was like that vlogger that did the prank thing. Is he still doing stuff? Whatever happened to him? Jesse Wellens. Is he still vlogging? He does pranks and stunts. Posted 2 months ago. He's still doing stuff. I don't know. But this guy used to be a kind of a big deal. Used to be kind of a big deal. But man, you remember this one? Real quick, I will just say this one. Well, I'll let you watch it, and then I'll say what I think was going on here.
What up, guys? Thank you for having me, EA. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Jesse Wellens, and I am a YouTube creator. So I am here to talk about Need for Speed Payback. If you guys didn't know Need for Speed Payback, yeah, it's a great game. But
oh my God, it's so
all
bad.
Set aside, I'm a YouTube creator. Need for Speed Payback is coming out. I got my boy Marcus, executive producer here.
My boy.
He is the producer of the game. Thank you, Nick, for having me.
Hey man, thanks Jesse. Obviously we're really excited to
Dude,
tell everyone
it's
about
so bad. I think what happened is that they were told there's going to be a teleprompter. Just read what's on the teleprompter. And I think that the teleprompter just didn't work because you can see my name's Jesse. He does like a little intro where he's like going off the dome and it seems like he knows what he's doing. And then the teleprompter never comes on and you hear him pause and he's like trying to find a way to burn time. And it just never comes on.
My name is Jesse Wellens, and I am a YouTube creator. So I am here.
And here he's like, are you going to turn it on? Are you going to turn the thing on?
Here to talk about Need for Speed Payback.
Still not on.
If you guys didn't know Need for Speed Payback,
like they screwed him. Yeah, if it was a projector or a teleprompter issue, I think that that's probably what happened. And I feel bad. Like it's not his fault. Like he's not the one in charge of the teleprompter. When you put on a clothing in Fallout that gives you -1 intelligence. That's funny. I mean, I think he got screwed. I feel bad for the guy. Because that was not his fault.
Yeah. How you doing? How are you? Good to see you. Gibbs? Gentlemen. What's up, bro? Good to see you. What a time to be alive.
Xbox One X.
Woo!
Xbox One X, the most powerful console ever made.
More powerful than any other console on every dimension. 6 teraflop GPU, 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory.
Oh, this guy. The thing I loved about this guy, it's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but the way he stands kind of like, he's kind of got a crap. Like he stands like this during the whole presentation, where he's just
6 teraflops of power. The strongest gaming machine to ever exist. And it just looks so great the whole time. He's one of the treasures of Xbox presentations, in my opinion.
Per second of memory bandwidth. Now, let's see what this monster can do.
Let's see what this monster can do. Oh, you remember the exclusive? I'm not landing on this thing, am I? There's no way.
Minecraft in 4K. When the Minecraft team showed me the first version of the game in 4K, I was blown away. There's no power greater than X.
The most powerful console.
You know what? The only thing that would have made this whole presentation better is if the whole time, whenever they say the power, like the power of X was their whole thing, and they go like, the only thing, there's no thing more powerful than the power of X. The power of X is the key to the future of gaming. Game on with the power of X. It's like the Nintendo thing with the constant every time they do a transition, but in this case, the power of X box. Oh, dude, it would be so good. It would be so good. Oh, why don't they let me direct the Xbox showcase? I guarantee you it would go viral. I guarantee it.
Full console ever. Okay. And coming for Xbox One X launch in November.
Correct.
Oh, man.
About how you're taking advantage of the 6 teraflops of power. Will we get 60 frames on One X?
It'll be 30 frames.
30 frames. Okay, so 30 frames across all the systems.
The world's most powerful console at $499.
All of your Xbox One accessories and games will work with Xbox One X.
What a time to be alive.
Bethesda Land.
Oh, remember this?
A place of adventure, innovation, wonderment, but above all else,
Let's start our tour of Bethesda Land with
Oh yeah, the really big, ugly microphones. Dude, I forgot about this. These, E3, man, I miss old E3. Now all the production value is really high, or people just don't show up at all. Like, this was primo.
2 VR games coming out this year. You ready? Let's take a look.
finally, a full-length open-world game with near-limitless content, playable entirely in VR. Sure will be exciting to play Fallout 4 in VR. Plus, Doom VFR. It's so hot right now.
So, what's next?
Did you know that Bethesda's first PC user mods in 2002 were for the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind? 15 years later, Bethesda continues to support the mod community. And we're just getting started.
It feels like somebody wants to sell me something!
I told you he was on to us.
Paid mods.
Introducing Creation Club. New weapons, new armor, new outfits and accessories. Using Creation Club is easy. Browse the selection in-game by category and use credits to download right there. Creation Club content is made by Bethesda Game Studios and the very best community creators.
I'm dying on the inside, dude.
I think the one question that we all had in our minds was...
And I remember when they did that, they announced it, they didn't have like Todd or anybody come along and try to justify it. They just played the video and then bailed. I think they had to know that that was a terrible idea, that people would hate it, right? There's no way they thought that would go over well. Like sometimes I've seen announcements, like I think the Diablo Immortal thing, I really do think that they expected players to be hyped about that. I do think that they thought players would be on it, into it. But with this, though, I don't know how on earth they ever thought that this was going to be received well. Like, it's baffling to me. Baffling.
but how can we make the gaming experience as immersive as possible?
As
Like
immersive as
gaming
possible.
technology to the brink every day. So let's see what they've got.
Uh-oh. For another $60.
Good stuff.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are we out of games? No.
Actually, we've got another one here. Let's check out that game.
Let's take a look.
Oh no. That's you, trademark. That seems like one of those games somebody was like really into it. It's our Nintendo game. It's our like pure fun game, and then it comes out and it's just horrible.
Why are we still here? We are very proud to show you what the game looks like on Xbox One X running in 4K.
Oh, I remember. Do you guys remember watching this? I think we were streaming to like 10 people, granted. This back when they announced it. I think what happened is they couldn't get like the capture card working. And so what they had to do is they played Assassin's Creed Origins on this monitor, this tiny monitor, and then they filmed the monitor as their 4K gameplay demonstration. It was really, really weird. The whole time, everybody's like, what? It's really, really odd.
Give us a little taste here.
See?
So here we are in the open world of Egypt. This is the
And they're outside too, dude. They're not even inside in the shade. They're outside with a monitor with brightness set super low. Like, it's just so freaking stupid. Oh, I get it. To be fair, I get it. It cannot be easy having stuff just work effortlessly in the production of like an E3 showcase. I'm sure it's very difficult, but like this is also a multi-billion-dollar company. You would think they could figure it out, right? Like surely. I have technical problems here, but not like that often, not that bad, where I'm just like, yeah, I'll film. I'm gonna do a gameplay video, everybody. We're gonna do a gameplay video of Kerbal Space Program. Are you ready? We're going to take this camera and we're going to angle it right at the screen. So there you go. And we're gonna play. This is my 4K gaming content. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome. I'd like to think we don't have problems that bad. And we're not a multi-billion-dollar company with like millions and millions and millions of dollars in assets, but whatever. Yeah, why am I doing an Alcor voice? I guess that's just my that's my try-hard corporate voice, apparently. I'm super serial. Excelsior!
demo that we will be showing on the show floor here at E3. Bayek is riding into the Fayoum, the regions in Egypt, the most southernmost region. It's a
Wait, you think they did this on purpose? No shot they did this on purpose. Really? Do you think they meant like the whole time? Actually, hold on. You might have just convinced me. They do have a little pyramid. Why would they have that just laying around if they didn't intend to show it this way? Maybe they did do this on purpose and they never intended. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. I don't know. Maybe. But if they did, that's like the stupidest thing that they could ever do. It's amazing to me. Excelsior! You have to help me stop Man-Bear Pig, kids.
Area. We see we've come in from the desert.
It's sunny on the lake and it's sunny on the monitor here, but folks, this
sure is
really good. It's running on an Xbox One X.
This is the PC gaming show.
Oh, I'm still showing the wrong. Okay, no, we're good.
Yeah, whereabouts is it at on the E3 floor?
That's at the PC Gamer Show.
Oh, that's right. It's at the PC gaming show booth. We have our own booth here at E3. Yes. Oh, I'm glad that two of you are very excited to hear that.
I watched that one too. That one was painful. Like the audience was giving them nothing. It was just, it was so awkward. This E3 2017 was a really, really awkward year.
We expect 500
500 million viewers of esports around the world. 500 million.
$1 million bonus for being the Grand Slam winner. $1 million. All right.
We weren't born champions. We're made.
We got the super cringy esports okay, listen, I think esports are cool. And yes, you watch what some of those esports players are able to do, and it actually is genuinely impressive, okay? These guys are like athletes in their own way. It's weird, but yeah, they are. But this like super dramatic opening, like they're going into a boxing match, it's just kind of cringe, okay? And I'm saying this as a gamer who likes esports. I don't really watch them actively, but like, I get it. It's still pretty cringe. I hate to be that guy, but it's just kind of cringe. I can't believe I have to be the one to say it, but like, this is just super, super dramatic. Like, this would be dramatic even if it was like Conor McGregor walking in to fight like, oh crap, what was his name? The little guy. So I think it started with an A. I don't know. Like, this would be really, really awkward for any of those fights. But the fact that it's like gaming and they're walking in black and white slow motion up to the tables to sit down and play a video game, it's just funny.
Made faster.
I'll never be able to do that again in my life.
He just disabled a moving truck with a grenade while jumping off a horse. Incredible.
You would play a co-op game like never before. I know, I mean, I can guarantee that. I know I sound very cocky, but I can't help it because it's...
Oh, there he is.
Gameplay-wise, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be a huge amount of variation. You're going to be able to play everything. I mean, not everything, but a lot of stuff.
I mean, not everything, but a lot of stuff. He's one of those really passionate game devs. You just gotta love him. And thankfully, he can live up to the standard. Altos. I think it was Altos. It was the little guy that he knocked out in like 7 seconds. It's that guy who I was talking about. Anyway, but he is like extremely passionate, and thankfully he's really good at like hyping games up. And then he also kind of delivers. Right? Like, he's not just promising crazy, and then he fails to live up to it. He generally lives up to it, especially, I mean, his last game won Game of the Year. Like, clearly he can do it. But he's always been one of those guys that's like, this game is going to have the best gameplay you've ever seen. It's going to be crazy, man. You're going to be able to do anything. Not anything, you know, a lot of stuff, though. It's just...
It's going to kick
so
ass.
funny.
It's going to kick ass.
Kick ass. Oh, here it is.
What up, guys? Thank you for having me.
What up,
You
guys?
guys don't know who I am. My name is Jesse Wellens, and I am a YouTube creator.
Oh,
so
man.
I am here to talk about Need for Speed Payback. If you guys didn't know, Need for Speed Payback, yeah, it's a great game. I got my boy Marcus, executive producer here. He is the producer of the game. Thank you, Nick, for having me.
Hey, man. Thanks, Jesse.
So awkward, dude.
Technologies are really exciting.
All of these are 2017.
Things like artificial intelligence.
There's no way this truck's getting away.
Whoa! You know, talking about the AI improvements we made, so a lot of the fans are asking for tougher AI.
I'm gonna wait up for this guy so I can crash him out.
Oh, he's gonna come charging at you. Look out.
There we go.
There you
Got him.
And I mean, I know there's a way for people to play right now, is that right?
Yeah, actually, they can already play the alpha version of the game. It's available as a part of our Bohemia incubator program. And later this year, we are coming to Steam Early Access.
That's awesome.
We wanted to
That's
do
awesome.
something that put
I
the
love
games
that for
in
us.
your hands earlier, and it showed us how much further we can go.
We are calling it
I'm sorry.
earliest access. And
Further we can go.
Maybe this is mean. What was that guy? Scary looking guy kids show. I don't remember. Oh, Lazy Town. Oh, this is it. It was in this show. Where bad guy Lazy Town. This guy. Did you guys ever watch this show? I never did. It was always super scary to me. But this guy, You know, Lazy Town? Does that ring a bell? He's always looked like him to me. Come on. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. I mean, need I say? Need I say more? So whenever I see him, I'm always like, oh yeah, it's that guy. That rings a bell. that rings a bell.
We are calling it earliest
access.
And we think
Devolver always has the best videos and showcases. They really do, because they're just like, they just embrace how ridiculous all of this is. It's great.
it will be a revolutionary way to hastily rush unfinished game content out to consumers.
2 years ago, we launched Star Wars Battlefront, and we got a lot of feedback. A lot of it positive, and a bunch of it constructive.
That's one way of putting it, for sure.
Battlefront 2 is much bigger than the previous title. Players who pre-order will get early access to multiplayer beta and Yoda's epic lightsaber mastery star card.
Wow.
Well, a lot of
The star cards, dude.
they do these kind of bullshit marketing
Those
betas.
things were so
They're like,
toxic.
oh, it's our beta and the game's out next week. I'm like, that's not really the case. You're not going to be able to fix anything.
Cliff, tell us when it's out.
Can I get a drum roll?
Audience.
You remember
go.
this, Lawbreakers?
Do a thing.
So the game is finally dropping on August 8th on PC and PlayStation 4.
Oh, that's soon.
$29.99. None of that $60 multiplayer only bullshit.
Still, you have to pay for it, though.
And if you didn't see it online, Cliff took a bow. Yes, $29.99.
$4.99. You've been playing a lot of Galaxy of Heroes.
I play a ton of Galaxy of Heroes. I've played that game every day since it launched. I think I've actually spent about $1,000 in that game.
You have a problem.
I do
Jesus.
have a problem.
Yeah.
But it's just, there's just so much Star
You're
Wars
that guy.
goodness. I can't help it.
The team at DICE in Stockholm has some of the most talented multiplayer designers in the world.
I mean, you can see
And then they show him. Oh, that they did him dirty. The poor guy. But wait, what game is he talking about? What is this?
But it's just, there's just so much Star Wars. $1,000 in that game. Galaxy Heroes. I've played that game every day since it launched.
Galaxy Heroes? What is Galaxy Heroes? Am I supposed to know this? Heroes. Oh, it's a mobile game? Dude, he spent $1,000 in a Star Wars mobile game? Bro, get some help. That's bad. I was like, maybe if it's a game like Star Citizen, at least like I kind of get it a little bit. Or even like you really like skins and you play a lot of Call of Duty and maybe you bought a bunch of Call of Duty skins over the course of like 5-10 years. Okay, maybe you spent $1,000. That's a lot, but still. But you spent $1,000 on a mobile game, dude? This is the thing. People are always like, where are these whales? And I've done this before too, where I'm like, these mobile games are built around whales, which if you're not familiar with the term, it's just people who spend a butt ton of money. Most people never spend money in these games. Most people, they only ever spend like, you know, a very, very little amount, maybe $1 or $2 max. But then there are some people who come along and spend like 10 grand. And I'm always like, who are these people? It's people like this. It's usually like single young men who have expendable income and not a lot of like responsibilities financially. So they're not married. They don't have kids or anything. So they just are trying to find ways to spend their money. And they literally burn it. They literally burn it. And it kind of irks me because I'm like, you could be saving that. Hopefully he's also saving. Maybe he makes a ton of money. I don't know. I can't imagine he's making a butt ton. Because all I ever hear is how game developers don't make much money. But maybe he's the exception. I don't know.
I think I've actually spent about $1,000 in that game.
You have a problem.
I do have a problem.
Yeah.
But it's just, there's just so much Star
You're
Wars
that guy.
goodness. I can't help it.
The team at DICE in Stockholm
You're
has
that
some
guy.
of the most talented multiplayer designers in the world.
I mean, you can see it looks so pretty. Just look at this laser fire. It's intense, and it looks beautiful.
It really does look incredible.
So good.
Well, guys, that was it. What did you guys think?
Intense.
Not bad. I'm lying. It was freaking awesome. I love it. It's so good.
The game is fun. If it's not fun,
Reggie, we need you.
What's
Reggie.
thoughts on the map?
Don't leave
I think
us.
the map's really, really good.
Spin between buildings, through the clouds.
Oh, dude, I'm not landing on this
Stunning
thing.
perspectives.
Oh no! Oh! 9/11.
9/11.
9/11. 9/11.
People are fucking scared.
9/11. 9/11. 9/11. People are freaking scared. That was a good cut. That was great.
9/11 GT2 RS.
Been a quick save. You guys want to see me crash?
The most powerful road-going 9/11 engine ever made. Like the Xbox One X, it's a monster.
I hope you're reminded today why it's so great to be a gamer on Xbox.
4K resolution, 4K textures, 4K assets, 4K TV, 4K games, 4K vapor.
See what I mean by how he stands?
GPU, 4K bananas, 4K UHD.
4K bananas.
Major
Oh, I came in
reveals,
way too
massive
hot.
Innovation and stories that'll pull you in.
Boom.
And that's the future of gaming, really. Storytelling is the future. Yeah. Storytelling is where it's at.
Whether it's a story that could only be born of a different land, or artistic design and storytelling that in a single moment can capture your imagination and inspire.
And what a play from the Wounded Warrior. She was
Oh, this thing was so weird too.
tactics to get herself out of there. She's going to take the win. Let's move on to the next arena. Here we're following Bloody Marrow. There's only 2 players left in this particular map.
Who? Wait, hold on. Who was that? Jethro Tull, Chief Shoutcaster? What the hell is a shoutcaster? Am I mistaken? I don't know who that is. Is he like a well-known voice announcer and that's why this is cool? I'm always like a little confused with this stuff where I'm like, I don't know why they chose to do this. What if we show our game with one random guy just standing screaming at the audience? just have him stand up there and just lose his mind. Can we do that? Does that work?
Welcome back. Hello.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have
Guy in the background going at
I
it.
wanted you to tell me a little bit more about the Grand Slam.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm a big sports fan. So tennis, golf, rugby, they have the Grand Slam. Now we have it in esports. So
Drops the controller, dude. Oh, it's so good.
Which is really exciting. We want to ensure that everyone, including these guys behind us, the gamers behind us, as you see,
Wow.
that they try and experience the future of VR and esports.
In the clip, you can see the match is fast, intense, full of epic saves, and last
Epic saves.
as you try to score a goal in the opposing goal. We call it Rocket League Echo Arena, and
We call it
seriously,
Rocket
it's
League.
the most fun we've ever had in VR.
Wow, Echo Arena. I mean, that looks pretty fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you and I
a
are
lot
gonna
of
go
fun.
at it after this is over. Yeah, I think I got a sneak peek. It's obviously really, really intense. The action's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not landing on this. This doesn't
really
work.
begins to pick up here.
This
Darth
is where
Maul.
it starts to get interesting.
Just so you guys know,
I
this
can
is where it
crash.
gets insane.
You can represent your favorite real-world team. It's true, you can.
I play Commander Iden Versio, leader of the Inferno Squad in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm gonna be cuddling up with someone playing me some Battlefront 2.
So what you're trying to do is
Oh.
strip off the armor from one location and then keep your facing to try and penetrate it, get to the juicy bits.
And you keep going on, you
Oh,
blow that
man.
arm off, and they lose those weapons.
And the back is really juicy and tasty too. You get around the back of a battle mech and penetrate.
Penetrate. That's so
Set that out. We're live, right? We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
And anti-bullying organizations, the Pacer Center, and Ditch the Label.
And boom. You ready?
We're going to head to the mezzanine with Sonya for a little bit of a giveaway.
Thank you, Sean. Sean is pretty cool, right? But you know what's a little bit cooler? A free PC. This bad boy is running an i7 7700K processors, a lot of 7s in there, and an NVIDIA GTX 1080.
Why does he keep doing
There's
this?
no power greater than X.
I think it could run Crysis at max settings.
Greater than
Sean.
X.
I think it can, Sonya, and I also think that it can run our next title.
They did him so dirty.
I am a master of transition.
Nitris started this Reddit thread with a keen observation about our new logo. Youthy put out the call to action, and then Frightening Medical Koi delivered, putting in work modeling and printing the Poopy Soft.
And it gives us to be one of the most iconic
The Poopy
things in
Soft.
PC gaming. This posture. Thank you. And I am pretty cool, right?
Dude, I feel so bad for him.
Jesus, thanks, audience. Let's... Woo!
It's just so awkward.
You could pinpoint the exact time and date a career died.
Now, of course, I have some concerns I want to address. You know, I am embarrassed by some tweets I made in the past.
Oh no!
I want to apologize for those.
Oh no, dude!
Where I am today, or what the last night review about.
Well, let's talk about what the game is about.
The game
Dude,
is not fun.
did he just apologize for like
what could happen?
tweets he made? Is that really in the middle of a presentation? That's unreal.
I didn't realize you could pinpoint the exact time and date a career died.
Now, of course, I have some concerns I want to address. You know, I am embarrassed by some tweets I made in the past. I want to apologize for those. They do not in any way represent who I am today or what the last night will be about.
Well, let's talk about what the game is.
He's like, oh my god, shut up. Dude, that's unreal. Wow.
About the game is not fun.
We've always wondered what could happen if our crazy rabbits were unleashed upon the world of Mario. Today, the dream is reality.
What a time to be alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miyamoto-san. What did you bring?
Not enough.
This is a life-size replica of one of the weapons from this game.
Wow.
Incredible.
Wow. Dude, it's so awkward. They gotta stop letting these people who are just like clearly bad at their jobs do it. I've said the same thing, like with Jeff Keighley, and maybe it's mean of me, but like I think Jeff Keighley is also very, very awkward on stage. His eye contact, his stage presence is just hilarious, for all the wrong reasons. Troy Baker is great. Let Troy Baker run the game show or the Game Awards. Let him host it. Have people who are like very good on stage do it. Like, I just don't get it. Like, gaming is beyond having awkward people on stage. I think we've made it. We've arrived. We can have fancy people, okay? We can do it. Gamers are usually awkward. I get that, but I also, like, I think it doesn't, like, our present, I can't talk. Our presenters don't have to be awkward. In regular life, there's football players or football fans who are really awkward. We don't let them on stage to like represent the whole thing, because that would be stupid. That'd be weird. Like, the announcers are the charismatic ones, and the awkward ones are not on stage. Like, I just don't get why you have to keep putting the awkward ones on stage. It's like they think, oh, we'll put the awkward people on stage and it'll be more relatable. I guess maybe, but it doesn't have to be that way. Like, come off it.
New IP is the lifeblood of our industry.
Here is the world premiere of Anthem's gameplay.
Sorry.
Let's see it.
My face is tired from dealing with everything.
The future is
Dude,
here.
Anthem, what a
Future of gaming.
waste.
You can just feel it growing and growing. You see the immersive capabilities.
Sonia, you're actually in the middle of the game. What do you think?
Oh, that's
Oh my goodness. I am hanging out in mixed reality right now, and this is amazing. The first time that anyone is going to be seeing this gameplay, I'm probably going to be getting my ass kicked right now, so I'm wasting no time. I'm getting right back in.
Sonia, that looks totally, that is amazing. So
Oh
it's
my
like you're
goodness.
right in the middle of the game. Don't shoot me.
It's so bad.
But we want to go ahead and put it right in the middle of the game, and for a professional streamer, this is kind of a brand new experience that you can bring to really bring that
Dude, it's so awkward.
Now, what we know today is that interactive entertainment will change more in the next 5 years than it has in the last 45.
Oh, dude.
All right.
All right.
Woo!
Oh yeah, and the Just Dance thing.
Hey everyone, I'm BB Rexa and Just Dance.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm, my fingers.
Yes, the journey requires
Oh,
the
they
right
did
ticket.
him dirty.
And that ticket is Nintendo Switch.
I'm really looking forward to exploring Skyrim with the Master Sword in hand.
Okay, wait, look, most importantly, it's,
What am I
it's
doing?
not
Hold
over.
on.
The show is not over, folks. We're gonna send you back to the home base behind the theater. We have 30 minutes of an exclusive, what is it? I lost it. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Grove Street, home. At least it was before I fucked everything up.
Incredible.
Incredible. Dude. Oh, we need E3 back.
You could even imagine it.
The Dorito Pope. Anybody wondering why we have a Dorito Pope emote in chat? This is why. It was this event where Jeff Keighley sat in front of all these Doritos and Mountain Dew things in the middle of a random interview about Halo. And everybody's like, can we really believe that you're being impartial while you're taking a fat check from Doritos and Mountain Dew? Like, you don't seem that level-headed if you're taking the massive sponsorship for this thing. Like, maybe we need to tone it back a little bit. Oh, those were the days, though. Gaming was simple. It made sense.
That which commanded the stars, giving life its fullest brilliance. The Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah, the jump. You guys remember the jump that he did?
Or something. Don't tell me you don't see it. Look up at the sky. It burns.
Okay. Thank you.
X. They're doing the X.
What is up? I am your host, Adam Rank. Nobody.
So hype. Hype mode engaged, although that's actually a lie. It was engaged about 3 days ago.
Do these guys know each other? Why are they together? You guys are friends, right?
This was so awkward. I was in the room for this. I'm like 20 feet off stage or 30 feet off stage. I don't know. I'm bad at distance, but I was in the room for this. And this was one of the most awkward things I've ever seen. Because the whole time, Todd is trying desperately to make people think he's close friends with Elon Musk. And Elon is like, yeah, like I know him and I wanted some cool thing for my birthday. And he was able to get it to me, so I guess we're friends because of that. It was really, really awkward. The whole thing was freaking weird. And it, like, Todd also at one point is like trying to say, oh yeah, when I ordered my Tesla, I like maxed out all the options on the website. I was like, D, all of the above. Like, he's trying to flex how rich he is to a billionaire. Somebody who would soon become like the most wealthy person on earth. Like... It was just, the whole thing was weird. It was just freaking odd.
People tried to connect us over several years. Like, do you know Elon? You should know Elon.
This is a question for both of you, actually. You mentioned failures before. What's the actual biggest failure that you've gone through to get to where you are?
Question.
And they didn't want to say
Who goes
it.
first?
That's a tricky question.
Dude, it's so
Fallout
awkward.
76.
Yeah, oh, that's right. This was right after
A lot of
Fallout 76. They ask, what's the biggest mistake you've ever made? And like, that led you where you are today. And Todd, everybody's like, you're going to say Fallout 76, right? Like, surely you're going to say Fallout 76. and he didn't. He did, like, the whole time he refused to acknowledge it. It was also really freaking awkward because I think people forget, but there were like 3 or 4 questions from the audience where people were like asking Elon if they could submit their resumes to him. It was really weird. And then like they're only taking a handful of questions, and one guy comes up and is like, yeah, can I get an autograph, Elon? It was really awkward. The whole thing was so weird.
Difficulties at launch, and we got a lot.
Yeah, so listen to this. This was his apology for Fallout 76 for basically scamming his customers and his fans, okay?
Of well-difficulties. Had a lot of difficulties at launch, and we got a lot of well-deserved criticism.
I don't know why the fanboys are laughing. The fanboys and girls are laughing about it. Like, it's really not that funny. Like, basically, like, they stole your money. Like, this isn't actually that funny. I don't get what's so funny about this. I'm gonna crash into the sun.
You know,
I'm gonna try to,
Todd
at least.
sold a big vision at E3 last year. Had a launch which, you know, was not the finest hour.
Yep. Hi, I'm Project Leader Jeff Gardner.
Fuck yeah, we put a battle royale in Fallout 76.
Oh man, they're going BR.
Yeah.
They're going BR.
Yeah.
And everyone, Boogie here, Boogie Woogie's like, no, they're not. There's no way they are. Indeed, they did.
They did. At E3, they had a booth set up just for playing Fallout 76 Battle Royale mode. And we played it once or twice because it was the only booth on the whole show floor without a wait. Except for like 2 mobile games. They were like Chinese mobile game things. It was really, really awkward. Like, nobody wanted anything to do with this. It was really weird.
That's right. Human NPCs are coming to Fallout 76.
We're talking about Apex. It's got some pretty sick skins. What skins do you have for me today?
We won't have random loot boxes or pay-to-win scenarios.
What, to you, is the future of Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Hundreds of thousands, millions of players.
What is the future of Anthem? And is there a future of Anthem? That's a question I see a lot.
There's a future for Anthem. A very bright future, we hope. One of the most important ones was just around listening to player feedback better.
Sure. Well, there's no way I can make that.
We spent some time really trying to get this PTS game update out, making sure instead of us saying to players...
Well, thank you, Ben. Get back to work. A hug from Hey, Ben, how you doing? Oh, my God.
I threatened to hug.
You did. Well, you didn't get a good one. Get in here. All right. For those of you here at EA Play, and those of you at home, you can get your hands on Cataclysm right now. So join me and get back in the fight, freelancers. Now, everyone...
That guy's face perfectly embodies what everybody is feeling.
Everyone get excited because up next we have Adam Rank bringing you an exclusive first look at Madden gameplay with Deep Dive.
Whatever you need from Double Fine, we'll make for you. Halo stuff, Forza stuff.
Download free tonight and give it a try.
And we're also hard at work.
I came outside to see what everyone was talking about, and they're all on their phones. Just the way I like it. IRL, social stuff to a minimum.
The next game we're going to take a look at is the twist on the stealth genre.
Sam Fisher, elite covert operative. The lone wolf now hunts with a pack.
Is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Go out today and tell a dev something that you love about their work.
Tell them to go f their mother with the controller.
As you all know, nobody smells bullshit like this particular community.
And if you want to play 4 days early, you can with our Ultimate Edition or membership in the newly announced Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
I'm here to announce Ubisoft's new subscription service on PC called Uplay Plus.
Hey, Patrick.
Uplay Plus will be $14.99 a month.
Better bumper durability, better grip durability.
Oh, that thing is actually great.
I have ever used.
What's the price on it?
The price is
$179.99.
$179.
Everything we've talked about that's coming this year is free.
All right, Let me first off tell you about the Grabbler.
The Grabbler?
The Grabbler.
I
He likes
like
to take things.
He- okay.
He takes things.
Yes, we're still hard at work on our next-gen RPGs, Starfield, and of course, Elder Scrolls 6.
Thousands of Xbox games are in development for you right now. So let's talk about our next console.
We
Yeah.
don't want to build just another console. We truly want it to be transformative.
More immersion, more exploration, more detail.
This generation is going to be a bigger leap than any generation we've done before. Resolution and frame rates that we've never seen before. Like, never seen before.
I remember this. It was
Looking at
like
frame rates
nobody's ever
up to
heard of this.
120 frames per second.
What
Nobody
I'm
knew what to
personally
do
most
about it.
excited about is the SSD.
This is 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X.
This is the most immersive console experience ever.
This is Project Scarlet.
This is the Xbox One X Project Scorpio Edition. This is going to be gone for good.
We'll press F to pay respects on each one. You can do that from home. All right, press F.
Press F.
Pressing F, Jeffrey.
Guys, PlayStation is not here. What are your thoughts?
Oh my
Is it
God.
weird?
He was my partner in the finals. Bruce Green. Yeah, I recognized his voice when we started chatting while playing the game, and I was like, "What? I know you from somewhere." And I looked up his username. I was like, "Oh crap, it's Bruce Green. He's like from OG Rooster Teeth and IGN and The No and all of those shows." It's pretty cool.
Do we feel weird?
It's sad? It's a little sad. PlayStation 5,
Yeah.
$800.
Really?
Have you looked at the specs?
Uh-huh.
If they make the mistake they made with PS3 and charge $600 or more,
right,
they've screwed themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PC Gaming Show!
I'll be real. I still don't really get the rage around the Epic Game Store. I don't get it. To me, it's really not that big of a deal. Maybe I'm just spoiled. I'm a cringe YouTuber that doesn't mind the Epic Game Store, but I really don't get why it's such a big deal. Auto chess.
PC version of Auto Chess will be coming to the Epic Game Store.
This is a new Valve game that just fucking came out. Check it out. It's called Dota Underlords. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now.
Love that.
Let me first off tell you about the Grabbler.
The Grabbler?
The Grabbler.
I
He likes
like
to take things.
Okay.
He takes things.
We can't just be on one platform and expect everybody to go there, right? That's dumb.
We've attempted to completely revamp the combat, movement, and animation systems so that every swing, every action of the combat feels readable and fair, and also has the satisfaction of and the weight that you would expect when two medieval knights in full armor are clashing.
Y'all good? All right. Come on, you're gonna beat him, right? What's up with that?
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, word around town is, I heard that if NA win, it'd be the first thing they ever won, so.
Oh, shit.
Definitely want to make that happen, and we are waiting on one player to get into the lobby. We're not stalling for no reason. We do want to get into the gameplay. Every single one of these people live on Twitch right now, go check them out. I'm sure they would love your company in chat.
Drop that bitch ass nigga though.
We're happy about that one.
Hitter 4 bikini bottom.
Ooh, we're not happy about that.
On Clash popularized a strategy
Oh,
where
wow.
you put the shield on your
Just staring at each other.
Huh? What? What happened?
Oh no!
Team killing is for assholes.
What he was trying to do was gunned down by Russian Badger.
They're gonna come in A.
Russian Badger finishes him off.
Make this game
On A, on A, on
fucking
A.
friendly shooter fire. Why the fuck would they do that?
Sacriel.
Make no sense.
That don't make no sense.
But Lil Yachty's gonna bounce back. Look at that.
Oh, I can't do it. I don't think I can go to the sun with this. I'm sorry, boys.
You're worse than my Firestorm teammates. You just leave me behind everywhere.
But we can all understand why that happens.
Use those
She
cutters to
touched
create
him.
Distraction while you take your lightsaber and free the Wookiees inside.
This is a single-player action-adventure game set post. Oh, yeah. Oh.
They're not dead, everybody! Jedi, over here.
That's the nutshell of the entire game.
Right? There's no story per se inside. It's not about going and see mission givers. It's not about looking at the mini maps and the little dots. It's about you, hey, Homo sapiens. Can you survive like our ancestors did?
I'm really looking forward to Death Stranding because apparently that's going to be just awesome cutscenes and a cool narrative to play through, and that's all I need is
Oh,
it's like a
Jake.
good book.
Yeah.
Except you're not looking at a book. You're just sitting on the TV and eating chips.
Yeah.
But that's better.
We will be making the Division
Oh,
movie
Jake.
with Netflix.
Did this ever happen? Is it still happening? The Division movie? Imperium, thanks for coming by, my friend. Always good to have you. Go get some work done. Don't worry, we're gonna. I think I'm gonna have to give up on my dream of crashing into the sun with this. I don't think it's happening.
What is Keanu Reeves doing? Is it a Matrix game? What's that? Oh, Cyberpunk!
Is really going to be breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
You guys liked it, right? I think I was looking at the Twitch chat. There's a lot of people who liked it. Like, what does that feel like to finally show this game? Star Wars games in the past have allowed us to go light or dark. Is that a choice here?
No.
Okay, well. Why not?
Because.
Oh, Greg. What a person. Man. What a pal. Oh, man. He's a quirky fella. He's a quirky fella. Well, and this is one of the moments where you look back at Star Wars stuff or at E3 stuff and you see just how negative some types are with it. Like, I get it. It looked a little slow. I'll give you that. But also, like, people in general tend to be pretty negative towards these things. Even when the game turns out to be really, really good, people instantly forget being really negative towards it. And I think, like, there's a difference between being skeptical of something and being negative towards something and cynical. I think a lot of people are very cynical towards Ubisoft, towards EA, and perhaps for a very good reason, because they've kind of earned it at this point. But it's also just clear that a lot of people, they start from the perspective that this is going to suck for sure, because it's EA, it's Ubisoft, it's whatever. And anything after that is like, oh, they actually managed to put out a good game. Okay. But I would say that Star Wars actually was pretty good. I just replayed it recently. I need to make that video. I need to do that. That was the thing I was going to do. And I just, like, spaced it. I need to do that. I need to do that. Says cynicism is earned just like good faith is earned. I think that's a good way of looking at it, Kenneth. I think in an ideal world, we would just be skeptical of everything. Like, it doesn't matter if they've earned goodwill. We don't believe the hype until it's justified. And one of the things, it's like in that little spectrum thing that I use to demonstrate, like, hype and fanboyism around games, is that you can have, like, that can take I guess it can have an effect on your consideration of a game, is the good faith. I wouldn't say that that immediately means that you start shooting everything down. But honestly, it's hard not to be kind of hyper negative about games when they do stuff like this, like when Ubisoft repeatedly blows it. Or like, honestly, one of the reasons I'm going into AC Mirage with such a negative outlook is because this whole adults only thing, I don't know how you explain that other than my little conspiracy theory tied to the gambling, specifically with the NFT stuff that they've been talking about wanting to implement, and then it gets rated adults only, and all of a sudden they're backtracking and the game gets delayed a year. That's weird. That's really, really weird. And it makes me think that maybe they were trying to implement that and then it didn't work and then they pulled a 180. I don't know. But, and thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that. Today's kind of a weird stream day for sure, because we have a couple of things to talk about. We started later than usual, so the vibe is kind of tossed around. But you know, it's just, we're vibing, we're living our life, we're doing our thing. And also, I mean, you guys know we don't normally like try playing games while streaming. This has been kind of interesting, experimenting with this, because I normally just do like the face cam, we chat, we do that, and then we don't mess around with too much after that. But today we've tried like having a game in the background while reacting or talking about other things and trying to see how to, like, gauging how that works. Because some people were like, oh, we like it when there's something else going on in the stream, when there's something additional. I think so far it's clear. Like, usually our numbers are higher when we can just keep it on face cam and chat. I think that tends to be the way. You know. I'll say again, the collector's edition 170 and still no updates from Paradox. That is weird. I don't know. It makes me worry about development hell stuff. Because why else would they be waiting this long, you know? Move the camera over just a tad. Whoop. Like that. Sorry, a new wide angle lens. I'm trying to get it centered. Oh, that's not bad. That works. I like Todd's spotlight. I like that. My ADH brain has loved the gameplay as well. Oh, Ocular Kindle. That's good. That's good. I mean, I think it's interesting because I'm not great at multitasking. I know some streamers can just like play whatever game and then they can talk and do reactions and stuff in the background. I find it a little bit more difficult, except for certain types of games. But I think, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I'm more siding on I'm erring on the side of just keeping it simple with the face cam and chat, not stressing about it too much. Gameplay's kind of slow. Yeah, it's true. But I mean, I think that's part of the problem is like, I'm really bad. I probably couldn't play something like the finals or something faster pace, with like, while being able to keep my thoughts going and things. So Maddie is saying he's not worried about this delay. I understand the frustration people have with Starfield getting delayed again, but I also think we need to recognize BGS games rarely get delayed with their stuff outside of Oblivion. Fallout 76 was a valuable lesson to them. Nobody wants that kind of disaster again. Jordy says Cyberpunk was also a lesson to them, I think. I'm really glad they are skipping last gen and giving it a lot of time in the oven. I think Microsoft knows that they have to get this right, and so does BGS. There was zero reason to launch 4 games from BGS in 6 months in 2023. Starfield falling to the fall makes the most sense. I mean, I would agree. The shadow drop thing, we were all like cautiously hoping that maybe that would happen, but I mean, let's be real. This is my little circle cam. I have to recenter it before. There we go. So that makes sense. I would agree with that. I just found the positivity kind of annoying. Delays suck. You don't have to pretend otherwise. Yeah, it sucks. And I mean, especially because, like, I think if like Rockstar delays a game, to me, I'm like, okay, well, they're just delaying it to get it right. With Bethesda delaying a game, I don't know if it's to get it right or if it's just to make sure that the thing doesn't cause like your computer to blue screen. Like for them, launch ready is very different from like Rockstar launch ready. And I think that's what frustrates me more, is that I can't justify it away or like come to terms with it where I'm like, oh, well, it's okay because it's, you know, they're going to get it right. It's going to show up really polished, because I don't think that's true. I don't think it will, which is kind of a bummer. I don't know. Did I see the Alienware 500 hertz monitor? What? That sounds straight stupid. What? 500 hertz monitor? Okay, hold on. This is the NVIDIA video on it. A 500 hertz bear in mind, the monitor I'm using right now, this one that we were doing the gag with earlier, this crazy 45-inch curved 3440 by what, 1440 I think is what it is, and it's an OLED monitor. It's 240 hertz. Like, this is a very, very nice monitor. Shout out to LG for sending it. But this thing is 240 hertz, and it is like a very nice, very expensive monitor. So a 500 hertz monitor is just ridiculous. Like, that's insane. Eric, thank you, my friend. It's going to read it. Just a second.
Eric Branke super chatted $9.99. Praise be to the Toddfather. May he please be merciful in how many times the game crashes. Cautious optimism as a lifelong BGS fan.
Praise be. Praise be. Praise be to the Todd. Praise be to the Todd. Everybody, praise be. Praise be in chat. Praise be. Oh, dude, should I write the Book of Todd? Should we have like, or should we use like AI to write the Book of Todd, where we go in and it's like sold as a leather-bound book, and it's like it's the Bible of Todd Howard, and it's just a collection of stories from Todd's perspective. I think that would be glorious. Praise be to Todd. Todd. There's all sorts of Todd Howard prayers inside, dude. We could meme it into oblivion. Get him. What if we got it to the point where we could get Todd holding the Book of Todd? I think that'd be great. We could do it. Anyway, I will 10,000%, or I will 100,000% support the Book of Todd. Good. I would too. Yeah, this is about when 144 hertz looks that stuttery. But dude, this is getting to the point where I really don't know. There's a very small percentage of people, I think, that would be able to tell the difference between 240 and 500 in real time. Like, it's going to be sharp as hell. It's going to be crazy. But other than like CSGO pros who are playing at 1080p, I don't know how this would be really useful. Because they can show this and it can be like, yeah, it's clear there is a difference, but you're not seeing it in this slow motion. I mean, this is ridiculous. Players see it earlier. I guess that's true. What resolution is it at? Have they said? Blazing Fast Esports. Hold on, I'm going to just look at it. By the way, Graham, thank you for re-upping your membership. Hey, Luke, what's your thoughts on Nintendo games as a whole? I don't see you discussing them all that much. Personally, I love the Fire Emblem series. I like the Fire Emblem series, too. I loved Fire Emblem Three Houses. But the issue is that, for one, those games have never done well on the channel. Viewers aren't that interested. And maybe it's because I don't do more videos on them, but it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy now. I don't make videos on them because they don't do well, and they don't do well because I don't make videos on them. So it's just kind of a cycle that repeats itself. But for like most Nintendo stuff in general, I still enjoy them. I like playing them, but it's just Nintendo also has a ridiculous policy where they will take like half of all revenue generated from content made with their IP. So it's just not worth. It's just not worth bothering with. Okay, so here are the downsides to this. The monitor comes with a 24.5-inch full high definition screen that refreshes at 500 hertz. If I'm not mistaken, that means 1080p at 500 hertz. That's insane. 24-inch monitor at 500 hertz. So this thing, I mean, this is like a pro gamer's tool. This is not your big flashy, oh, look at my curved monitor. Isn't it cool? This is not that monitor. This monitor is for like enjoying at home for gaming at your leisure. This thing, the 500 hertz one, is for like if you're going pro. And even then, I don't think like many people would know the difference. I remember, I think it was Linus. He did, it was like a frame rate test or something. Yeah, it was. It was. Because he got Shroud to come out and test the different computers. And he wanted to see like what the difference was, if he could tell the difference. If it affected gameplay. And the lesson is like, if you're a really good pro player, a nicer monitor helps, but reaction time test, like it really is just, it's not going to make a ridiculous change. Like your aim is really good or it's not. It's like in here, that makes a difference is like reaction times, which is kind of the selling point. But other than that, man, I think the idea that like a casual player is going to get a 500 hertz monitor and all of a sudden be like really, really good at gaming, no. Instead, invest in something that does make a difference, like a chair with RGB. That will have a difference, okay? Spend your money wisely. But 500 hertz monitor, that's ridiculous, dude. That's straight up silly. That's straight up silly. Did they say how much it is? I didn't even see. Our Tings, maybe? No, that's the Samsung Odyssey. Oh, G, fucker, that's why it's doing that. Alienware. Do none of them say the price? I don't see a price listed. It's got to be stupid expensive, right? Does anybody know? I don't think so. So that test showed that none of them had significant change between 120 and 240, the biggest difference between 60 and 120. And that kind of backs up what I've experienced, like going from a 60 hertz monitor to 144, then to 240. I can tell the difference between 144 and 240. The monitor behind me actually is a 144 hertz 4K monitor, and it's the one I had here before I got the curved one last week. And it was good, like playing at 4K, 140 frames. Yeah, it's great. Like no big problem there. But I can tell the difference between 144 and 240. As to how it like affects my play in a like a shooter or something like that, I don't think it really affects it that much. I'll be real. I like it more. I find it smoother at 240, of course, but like I don't think it makes your play better as far as I can tell. But playing a shooter at like 60 frames hurts. Like that to me, I struggle with. That one is hard. But what's the matter with the monitor you had? We are building Nikki a PC gaming setup with all of my hardware that I'm passing around. I could move that monitor onto the streaming PC and it would be like my vertical tilt streaming monitor, but I don't need 144 frames on a secondary monitor used for like OBS. So that would be stupid. So instead, that's going to go up with Nikki's setup, and we're going to get her own gaming PC and set up like that, which will be fun. No, it's not coming to PlayStation. No. $830 for it, apparently. That's not as bad as I was expecting, honestly. I was expecting, because they're targeting pros, this thing would be like stupid. This would be like a $2,500 monitor or something. It'll cost you $830 according to The Verge. It's not as bad as I was expecting. But I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Some people will look at this and be like, oh, a 1080p monitor for $800? That's insane. I can get one for $40 at Walmart. But it's the refresh rate that makes the difference. But I mean, that's pretty wild. That's wild. And I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of kids that are buying this with their summer earnings from their part-time job, because they think it'll make them way better at Fortnite or Warzone so they can become a streamer. Which, maybe it will. What do I know? Look at me. Maybe. I spend way too much money on random stuff. I have a freaking cardboard cutout of a niche video game developer. I love spending money on stupid stuff, so maybe this is the key to success. I could have found it earlier if I just spent my money properly on high refresh rate monitors. Oh, man. Okay. Anyway. That's wild. I don't think I could go back to 1080p even if I wanted to. I'm used to these big monitors now. I don't know if I could go down to something like pretty small in comparison. I guess if it's just my gaming PC and I sit a little closer, maybe then, but I don't know. I'm spoiled. Have you played the 2004 Godfather game? It was kind of like a 40s Saints Row with the plot of the Godfather. It was really good, TBH. I have not played that. I bet it's similar to Mafia, so I might like it. I can check that out. Yo, Luke, how long have you been live? Like 3 hours 40, just about. And I think I'm going to wrap it up there because Nikki and I are going to go see a movie tonight. So we've got to go get Lockie all prepped for Grandma to watch him. But a good chill stream for sure. I had a good time today. Kind of relaxing, a different pace, different feel than normal. But good. We'll be back Friday. What are we seeing? We're finally going to see Avatar. Still have not seen Avatar, so going to go see Avatar. I'm such a dad. We're going to go see this movie that came out 2 months ago because we haven't seen anything. We don't get out of the house much. So I'm going to go do that. That'll be good. May Todd be with you and also with you. May Todd bless you and your family many times over to the 4th and 5th generation. Praise be to Todd. Praise be. And also with you. I love the cult of Todd. I love it. He's got to be so uncomfortable with it. I love it. Jonathan, thank you for that, for re-upping your membership. Is Todd coming to the movies? You know what? Sure. Well, Nikki will just have to learn to love him. She will learn to love him. It's been great. Hope I didn't OneNote too much. Oh, no, you're fine, Salvador. I don't think so. I'm thinking of seeing Scream 6 on Friday. Oh, that's ballsy. Sorry, I know that you're a human being, but when I see your profile picture, it's Butters. So I imagine Butters seeing Scream 6, and that just makes it all the funnier to me, honestly. Let us know how Avatar is on the next stream. Oh, I will. Yeah, ask me on Friday. I'm sure I'll have thoughts. Oh, man. Upload this stream. Yeah, no, it'll be cataloged. All of these end up listed so you can see them after the stream. So no worries. Someone should make a Todd simulator game where he hands out copies of Skyrim and levels up, but where he charges you. Yeah. And then mods come out and you're supposed to thank him even though he's charging you for those too. Anyway, much love, everybody. Stay safe for the next 2 days. I will see you Friday with a new video on the main channel and with another stream. Hugs and kisses. I'm looking at the wrong camera. I'm used to looking at that camera. So you're like, what the hell are you doing, Luke? This is where you are now. Hi, much love. I'll see you in the next stream. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye. Stay safe. I miss you guys already. Bye.